to Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode 136. I'm Nicholas. I'm here with Farrell and Malzone. Yeah, welcome.
You remembered. Damn it.
Wait, what? Who the hell is Farrell? Oh.
Oh, you're the one that asked him to do it, you son of a bitch.
I asked him
He said, yeah.
Introduce us by our middle names?
I thought you were with Rose the Hat here, with this guy, with a chapeau today. Look at this thing.
Look at this handsome fucking lad. He looks like he's 19.
Yeah.
He looks great.
It looks like he's about to rob me.
Give me 50 loons. You fuck.
Where was that hat 10 shows ago?
Right?
Where was that joke 5 years ago?
All right, what a start. All right.
Yeah.
Dave, can you do me a favor? I feel like I'm drunk. Can you unblur your background, please?
Get off the blur? Okay, I'll take it off the blur.
I hate the blur.
Were you two assholes Skyping late last night?
I wasn't Skyping, but I missed another call from Mike Merriman. Every Saturday night at 4 a.m, I miss a call from Mike Merriman.
Amazing. Okay.
There we go. Ah, that's good. My eyes feel better. I don't like that blur in the background.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, you don't, hey? All right, here goes.
Is there any way to not blur the background, but to blur the person?
Yeah, that joke was last episode.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
I think so. I wish you could blur the. Oh no, I did that at work. I asked one of my coworkers to blur the foreground.
That's hilarious. I did it at work.
Me.
Me, I cracked myself up.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Everybody everybody that listens to the show knows it. I laugh the hardest at my own jokes.
We all laugh at our own jokes. It's a fact. It's the guy said it, and it's true. Speaking of ratings, we're up to 200, aren't we?
Yeah. Have they turned positive this last? Did Nikki listen to us finally? Say I changed my opinion. These guys are all right.
I don't know if Tricky Nikki did anything. Oh, of course, the simplest things like searching something on a phone just do not work at this hour for me. So I can't look it up. That might hurt me later. Let's see though.
12 p.m. all fine, but between 9 and 10 a.m.
I don't
the
get
busiest hour for podcasting.
I slept in. I fell asleep right after the movie last night. I don't know what happened. I had to drive my family all over creation. The only reason I have a more of a complaining tone to my voice is because we have been cooped up. So it's kind of nice to get out. And it was a beautiful day yesterday. However, I spent every possible spare moment driving someone around town. It was crazy. It was crazy.
That's worse than work. You could just be home. I can drive by myself. I could drive by myself across the country if need. But having passengers, it's a whole other story. I just, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just want to listen to my music and stuff, and it's okay. But when I got people in the car with me,
podcast music, stern. You don't have to be told that you took that turn a little too quick.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Fucking wrench.
You know how you can take that turn slower? Walking it.
Amazing. Anyway. Well, see, I got to ask you, since you're out driving all over, the beautiful land of Canada yesterday, I was wondering, by any chance, did you happen to come across Ogo Pogo?
Ogo Pogo?
You know what Ogo Pogo is?
Isn't that...
You don't know it.
Are they the knockoff? Damn. Are they a cover band of Oingo Boingo?
The Canadian equivalent.
Ogo Pogo was like a monster in Canada in the waters. And what's that? Jergens.
Jerk it instead of whip it.
Oh, cake jerk it? Yeah, cake jerk it.
Jerk it. Jerk it real good. Oh, wait, that's
Devo.
Yeah, that's
Oingo Boingo was Dead Man's Party.
Yeah, salt and pepper. jerk is push it.
I was salt and pepper too. Push it. That's what I was saying.
I didn't even know why you were singing it, but I went with it. I don't know. Okay, jerk it. Cake jerk it.
I'm out. I'm just gonna take a break. No, Ongo Boingo or whatever the fuck you're talking about. I have no clue.
Ogo Pogo. It was it's a monster from Canada, kind of like the Loch Ness monster, and it was on Unsolved Mysteries back in the day, and it was like this big thing, and apparently it looks a lot like a beaver. So I mean, this whole story.
No, we solved it. That's fake TV.
We solved it.
The funny part is this: a lot of Canadians really believe in it, and it can show up in different waters. And this is the funniest part of all. Ogo, hold on, what's it called? Ogo Pogo.
Movie.
Well, maybe, but Ogo Pogo is the Canadian government put it on their endangered species list. And I'm not making a joke. Literally, a probably fictional fucking character like the Loch Ness Monster or any fucking thing like that we don't know if it exists or not, like Bigfoot. The Canadian government was so worried about it because it's this rare thing because not many people have seen it. It's if you happen to come across one, it's illegal to kill it. Crazy, huh?
This is foreplay in Canada. Hey, baby, show me your Ogo Pogo.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
Yeah. Can you believe
I got
that?
nothing for you because I really don't know anything, and I'm assuming the endangered species thing must be a joke.
I don't.
Because we've got like a sense of humor up here.
I'm pretty sure Robert Stack said it. This was the old days of Robert Stack hosting Unsolved Mysteries, and he said it that it's on their endangered species list. Robert Stack doesn't joke around.
Was this before or after Caddyshack 2?
Was he in that?
Yeah.
Was he really?
Caddyshack 2? Yeah, it was him and Jackie Mason.
I try to forget that movie. I saw it one time, and
it's not that bad. It's no Caddyshack 1, but it's got its funny parts.
The worst part by far, and I do like Jackie Mason. Obviously, he was shooed in to be like a fucking Rodney character, and that's not what they're doing.
We're all gonna get played.
By far, the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in any movie ever is probably Dan Aykroyd trying to do the fucking Bill Murray character.
Oh, God.
LOVE fucking Dan Aykroyd in the 80s. He is one of my absolute favorites. Two of my favorite comedies ever.
LOVE. Hey, Ted, where's the corkscrew? That's the first thing I thought of.
That's why I did it. That's what I'm talking about. Love, Teddy boy.
LOVE.
So,
I love Brandon's face when Brian Fitz comes up.
Dan Aykroyd and that hat. I can't believe it. As much as I like that hat, this would have been the one instance, it would have been perfect for you to wear a yarmulke.
Covered your whole head.
Do you have a yarmulke in the house or no?
I do have a yarmulke. I almost wore a yarmulke.
You should have. How could you not? Oh, on a show like this?
It's too
yarmulke is also an endangered species in Canada. Sorry.
No, what's even more endangered are Ogo Pogos wearing yarmulkes. If you find a Jewish Ogo Pogo singing Oingo Boingo
in a choir voice,
It's a dead
Gotta
man's party. Who could ask for more? Everybody's coming. Leave your body at the door.
Holy shit! Wow. So yeah, it would have been perfect. It would have been perfect.
I thought about it.
You don't want to poke one. It's too.
No, it's not that. I just didn't feel like going downstairs.
Okay.
But that hat was in close proximity, eh?
No, this hat was downstairs too.
Because this is the only time this gimmick is going to be used on the show. I can't think of another instance like this where we're actually going to talk about two movies like this. I mean, this is like the I don't know, the Jew 2, if that's okay to say. You know, that's what's happening. Yeah, it's the Jew 2. Is that okay to say?
Jeremy joined us on this because Jeremy was calling us out that some of the picks were not actually even Jewish, that we were trying to have them vote against. And then he was calling you out, Brandon, for not knowing any better or educating us.
I mean, anybody who's seen Big Bad Wolves knows it's not about the Jewish religion. It's a fucking kidnapping movie.
Yeah.
And a fucking pedophile movie. But it's in Hebrew. Come on. We're not. It's made by Jews. Yeah, we're not telling the story of the Jews here.
telling the story.
Oh, well, there goes my intro. I got nothing, actually.
Well, there's so few movies like this. We just Googled it, Jewish horror movies is what I did, and that's what came up. And nobody objected when I said, okay, these are the ones, and that was it. So we put them up. And I didn't even remember. I loved the Big Bad Wolves. I own it. I've seen it twice, but I didn't. If you would have told me that it was Hebrew, I would not have remembered. I was just trusting Google. Same thing with The Possession. I saw it one time. I do not remember the Jewish gimmick being in there, any of that shit. I just don't remember.
The Jewish gimmick.
Actually, I got to be honest. We have to be in these politically correct terms. It's now they brew.
Is that how you made your coffee this morning, Dave? He brews it.
Actually, I remade it, so in that case, it'd be called a she brew.
She brew.
Still not acceptable. They brew.
Now, did she mix it with a wrench?
She got in the shower an hour before I did this morning. Is not to wrench me, and she even mentioned it. She goes, Yeah, she said I didn't want to wrench you because I came in the bathroom after she got in, and she thought I was accosting her. All I did was come in the bathroom. I walk in the bathroom door. She's in the shower. I pull back the curtain. I did not stab her. I gave her a kiss. I said, hey, what are you doing? I was just saying hello. And she goes, she thought I was like busting her balls for being in the shower. She goes, well, don't you have to go in the shower and eat this? I said, yes, I'm just saying hello. That's all. She goes, oh, okay. She thought I was.
I kind of side with her on that side. You open up the shower. And, hey, what are you doing? Showering, fuckface.
I hadn't seen her in a long time.
Letting all the steam out, getting it cold in there.
Yeah. Getting cold, asshole.
Son of a bitch. All right.
But I side with her in this case.
That's fair. That's fair. Man.
Hey, what are you doing?
You know what you should? You should put the yarmulke on the thing behind you. The music composer thing. Take a break from your composing one day, and you can hang it there like a hat rack.
Don't you have a composer thing?
I would love to see you compose. Are you out there? You'd be perfect with that hair. You'd be flying all over the place.
The sheet music holders. The composer.
Yes. You should compose. That'd be great with that hair. It'd be amazing.
It's very big in New Jersey. It's kind of like the choirs of Canada. We're very big into composing here.
Yeah.
I would pay to see that. Being a composer for a Canadian choir in Christian singing.
The latest Ogo Pogo song.
Hey, Maria. I couldn't do it.
Oh man. Or maybe you could sing some what do you call it? Two Live Jews, some of their greatest hits. You guys remember Two Live Jews?
Band? Isn't that a real knockoff joke band? I'm being serious. I thought that was
that?
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. It is real.
Yeah, you remember this?
It's kosher. It's not a knockoff. Dave's like, you guys remember these?
You guys ever heard them?
I'm just joking.
I've never seen them.
Really? As kosher as they want to be. Yeah, well, here's the deal. When I was a kid.
As kosher as they want to be.
I'm telling you, there were so few rap albums out back then. And listen, hip-hop people, listen up. Because you're not going to believe this. Like, when I started listening to that stuff in like 83, 84. We would go to the freaking, the record stores in the mall. One was called Cabbages. One was called Record Town. And rap was a new form of music being put out on shelves like these. So literally every rap album that came out, we bought because there was so few of them. Like there was a time that there was less than like 100. So we owned them all, me and my friends and I, because it was a new form of music being put in stores. People don't realize this now when they hear modern hip hop, that that it's only been around since like, you know, the early 80s, and it's what the culture has become. Everything now is like commercialized, and that's the problem with the hip hop in general now. But like back then, everything that came out we bought because there was so few. So any five and dimer that got his stuff put on a cassette and it made it its way to a shelf in a mall, we bought. So I used to comb through the rap section. I had all the cassettes, and of course, Two Live Crew was around, and they had their big breakthrough album with fucking As Nasty as They Want to Be, which was a big deal. And then shortly after that, there it was right below it, Two Live Jews, As Kosher as They Want to Be. So we had to buy it. I mean, back then, rap was a gimmick. It was a gimmick because back then you had a guy rapping like fucking John Wayne. You had a guy rapping trying to sound like Buckwheat. It was in commercials back then, like, because it was a new thing. It's hard to explain unless you were there the way it was. But it was because it was like new. But
the way
As Kosher as They Want to Be. You never heard that song? It's So Humid. No. Oi! It's so humid. Oh, it's great. Hold on. Let me see if I can see this. It's good shit. The Two Live Jews. Wait a minute. And there was a video for it, and it was two guys dressed up like old men. I assume they're young Jewish men. You know what I mean?
I had a glass of that for breakfast. A glass of Two Live Juice.
Two Live Juice. Okay, wait a minute here. I'll play it. Hold up. Here's some.
For the past 3, we were chilling out front, working up an appetite, thinking about lunch, motivating on the beach, hanging out by Wolfies, thinking about pumpernicks or maybe even Schultzes. I'll have a corned beef or a quarter pound of brisket. The salmon didn't look so hot, I didn't want to risk it. Out the window, I was getting kind of hot. It's like a brisket that was boiling in a pot. Oh, it's so humid.
Okay, you get the point.
I'm not going to say I never heard of that, but I don't remember that. I don't remember the video. And the one joke rap one that I remember was the one I posted on the page recently that no one but you and I think one other person reacted to. Like, was it Morris V and the Miners or whatever, or the Majors? And
yeah.
No sleep till bedtime.
Oh. Those were the days, man. People were
the stutter rap.
Yeah, the stutter rap, yeah. And even something like Two Live Jews, that could never happen nowadays. Back then, we could laugh at each other and laugh at ourselves, and it wasn't seen.
Definitely not in Alabama. Poor Alabama.
What about Shake That Took Us? Remember that song or no?
I don't think Brandon and I remember any of these songs.
No.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, 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 shake your tukas. It was the fucking Two Live Jews.
Yes. You know what? I do
remember.
know that. Every time you bring it up now, I do recall, but I don't remember them being like a big. I thought it was like just a flash in the pan, like something that they joked around, and they didn't have a full album or anything. They had an album though. You're saying I didn't know that.
Well, that was my introduction to them. I saw it there, and I was like, "It's Kosher as They Want to Be." What the fuck? We had to get it. You know what I mean? So,
I don't
know how many times you listened to it, but.
Well, that's it. That was always those novelty things. Even Weird Al, who I liked. You listen to the song once or twice. The videos with the song were where it was absolutely hilarious. But then you go buy an album, you're like, why did I buy this? Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it.
Oh, I love that album.
There's only so much you can listen to that one.
No, dude.
I guess I did listen to Pac-Man Fever a lot.
You sure as fuck did. That's a great album, though, Pac-Man Fever. Man, I love that album. I can't wait. It's nostalgic for me now because of last summer. Because I was listening to it like all last summer because you introduced me to the album. So now when summer breaks this year, I'm gonna be listening to fucking that album. It's great. There's something about it. Pac-Man Fever.
It is
all
good.
The songs.
Now,
Centipede. It's great.
I've been texting back and forth with Chris, aka Scott, and he's like a big metal guy, but he's also he was a big hip hop guy or rap guy at the I guess before it was hip hop.
What was his name?
It was Chris, aka Scott. funny enough, I don't know how we didn't know this. Yo, I'm Chris, a.k.a. Scott. Anyway, that's how he'd sign off. He told me about a movie I'm shocked I didn't know about called Crush Groove.
Oh yeah, Crush, grooving, body moving. I had that soundtrack.
Okay,
yeah.
I had never heard of this movie, so I've only been able to watch the first half because I was the schedule's been nuts, and B, I had to watch the 2 movies for our show.
Did they crush it yet? If they crushed it, you're halfway through. Wait till they groove.
It's on. It's on.
Beastie Boys. Remember that's the Beastie Boys debut on film. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Oh.
I never saw Crush Groove, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube for free. It's such a bad movie, yet it, like I was telling, it's so strangely appealing at the same time because of all the performances in it. But the movie itself is horrible. Horrible.
It may be, but I have to watch it. It's got too much of that era in it. It's just those were the good old days. Man, yeah. What about Breaking and all those others? You watch Breaking? I'm sure you'll watch that one.
That's what started. I watched Breaking 2, and of course Ice-T's in both of them. I didn't realize he was in the first one, but he has a performance.
He's a rapper.
Yeah. He's Tracy. He comes out and he raps at the end of it to make sure that they get the money that they need to salvage the place. And it was interesting because that was like 85, and Ryan Pace didn't come out until like 87, right?
Yeah, the next year. Yep, it was about a year before.
So that was when he was just hustling. Yeah. He was in Cannon movies at that point.
He just gotten out. He just got out of the joint. He was maybe I could be wrong about that, but I know he did spend some time in there early, and he was an OG. He was the guy that coined the term OG, in case people don't know it. But I mean, and then there was Beach Street, and C just couldn't take it. Damn it, he did not coin the term OG.
He's like, I coined OG. Fuck you, I'm out.
That was Vanilla Ice. I'm out of here.
Yeah. It was a white guy, and I stick to it.
A Canadian and
Pat Boone. It was Pat Boone. That's it. Pat Boone, original gangster.
Yeah, that's it, man. 1991, OG, original gangster. Oh God, what an album. Anyway, well, now that you've mentioned Chris, we do have questions to answer. I guess we could answer them now. What the hell? You've discussed the man. You know?
We discussed them.
No, we did discuss them. Now I gotta find his questions because he put them in a little while ago, and we were gonna wait for other show to do them. And he says, "Hey, you can do those questions." And I said, "Hey, you know what? What the hell? Let's do these questions." So, I found them. Okay, number 1, rank the Rocky movies in order of preference. My favorite movies of all time, he adds. So, is this easy for you guys? It's quite easy for me. I am also a huge fan of the Rocky franchise. Okay.
And the rankings, and I think he did say this in his post as well, I pretty much love them all. Save for maybe 5. Love might be a strong term for 5, but I love them all. So it's just a matter of what order would I watch them in if you weren't going to say, let's go from 1 through 6, and you just wanted to do them in like he said, your preference. I like, again, they're all roughly the same rating.
It's so hard to rank them. It's so hard to rank them.
I could do it. I'll do it right now.
Go for it. No,
and again, this is because this is the order that I'd watch them, no question about it. Rocky 4, Rocky 3, Rocky Balboa, Rocky 2, Rocky 5. And that's just because Rocky 4, I just think is like, I know it's a rock video movie or like a MTV movie. It's a bunch of montages put together, but it's so fast paced. It's so fun. It's so 80s. It's the one that I could just put on and just say, fucking A. And same with Rocky 3 is right there with it. And then it goes back to the OG. Like, I get it. Rocky's the underdog movie. But if I had to put them on right now, it'd be Rocky 4 or 3. No question.
I love that Balboa got such a high ranking for you.
I love that one too.
It's a great one.
I love them all. Yeah. Let me hear it again one more time, see.
Rocky 4, Rocky 3, Rocky, Balboa, Rocky 2, Rocky 5.
Wow, Balboa over 2. Holy shit. Wow. Okay.
Balboa is a super underrated film, I think.
I like it. I do like it. it doesn't have the rewatchability for me that the others have. Like the other ones, I almost know word for word. And Rocky Balboa, while it is a good movie, it just doesn't hold that spot.
I know every grunt.
You're a fucking grunt.
Mick! Adrian! Rocky! I just did the first 4 movies. You guys. Well, 3. 4.
Amazing. Just put on There's No Easy Way Out. That's all 4 of them. You know? There's no easy way out.
Number 4 is easily the best because of that soundtrack.
Wow. What? You're picking number 4? You also because of the soundtrack?
In terms of preference, okay. Here's my order in the way I'd watch them. 4, 2, 3. Balboa, OG Rocky, 5.
Wow. I'm in literal shock.
I mean, I can't argue against it. We're all talking like it's. Well, there's shock, but it's not like we're saying like we're the only one. I think everybody universally will have 5 at the bottom. They're all good. We're all saying we love them all. It's very difficult to pick between these ones that we love. Like, I mean, I'm just saying for preference of watching, as Brandon did too.
I'm just shocked at the I don't know, Balboa being placed where it was. That's all for both of you. And I guess shocked is I'm overstating it.
I always say Balboa is underrated. I think it's a great send off. I love the fight sequence at the end. I love it.
I like
how
the movie.
Did it. Yeah.
I do.
And they bring back Marie. You got Spider in there.
Shoot it to us. Come on, shoot it to us, Dave. I can almost feel it.
Well, look at it this way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Every movie in this franchise is a 7 or higher for me. So when I say when I rank them, they're all I'm favorable on every one of them. It's a great franchise. Seriously, I think it's great. So I'm right with you. It's one of my favorites. 1, 2, and 3 to me, they're all 10s out of 10s. There's just no question about it. So picking them, number 1 is definitely my number 1. Like in other words, Rocky 3 is my favorite. Rocky 3 is number 1. I think it has the best flow. It's the saddest. Everything with Mickey. There's 3 fights in it. We got the Hogan thing, and then we got 2 fights with Clubber. Everything about it was paced just perfectly for me. All the stuff about Rocky losing his how Mick kept him on top after winning the title, and how the worst thing happened to him that could happen to any fighter. He got civilized, and just that whole. There's just more of a story in 3, and I tear up every time with that Mickey shit.
Are we really ranking them or reviewing them?
I'm sorry. It's just,
no, I'm just kidding.
It's just my love for 3. I just want to explain why I'm so high on it.
Such an asshole. I'm such an asshole.
And talk about soundtrack. Oh my God, the Eye of the Tiger in the beginning is fucking incredible. Wow. But anyway, Rocky 3. Then I'm gonna go OG Rocky as my second. It's probably the best made of all of them. It's just as much of a drama as it is anything else, and I like that style of film. It's real serious, and the relationship with Paulie and all of them, and Adrian and Rocky and everything that goes. It's just a great movie. Then Rocky 2, which it was tough. They're all 10 out of 10 for me, so I loved them all. Then after those 3, then if I really get down to it, I guess I would have to put 4 there. I guess 4 would come after those 3. And and then Rocky 5.
Oh.
Well, here's the deal. The only problem with Rocky 5, is there's no fight at the end, and it's a street fight. Outside of that, everything about him going back to the old school and having to and everything he's going through and when he trains Tommy and how he gets his heart broken and all, I think that's fucking great. And that's not a knock on Balboa. I would rank them both like a 7 out of 10. They're both good movies. I enjoy them both. I just can't. Maybe it's nostalgia, maybe because I've seen Rocky 5 so many times and I've only seen Balboa 3. But I also I appreciate Balboa, but I miss having Adrian there, and I don't know. The fight's good and all. I just don't get that same feel.
You get Mason the line. You get Mason the line.
I think they like Rocky 5 I enjoyed back in the day, but I always was
it's
like,
a bad rap.
there's something missing here. There's something missing here. Well, no, he even thought it was a bad send-off, which is why he did Rocky Balboa. And I saw Rocky Balboa in the theater with my wife, and we were both like, well, there it is. That's amazing.
That's the
like
ending.
He did the send-off. And now you have Creed 1 and 2, which are these offshoots, which
Creed.
are
they're good too. No, they're good too.
They're good for sure. But for the Rocky franchise, Balboa was a fantastic send-off.
I put Rocky 5.
I love Balboa. Do you?
I thought Creed was boring as hell.
I give Creed. What'd you say?
I thought Creed was boring as hell.
Really?
Yeah.
Creed 1 and 2 and Balboa almost seem like the same fucking family to me in that way. They're made a lot alike. They have.
You can't say that.
I give them 8 out of 10. I give them both an 8 out of 10 if I'm ranking them, because I did them early this year. So I like the Creed 1 and 2. I've only seen them once. I've seen Rocky Balboa like 3 or 4 times. The thing is with Balboa, the more times I've seen it, the less I've wanted to go revisit it. I think that's what it is. The first time I saw it, I loved it. And then after 2, 3, and the 4th time, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good, but it doesn't hold that spot for me. Like Rocky 5, I could put it on right now and watch it. Again, to me, the only knock is the fucking ending, that it's a stupid street fight. But everything else about the story, I love that stuff, man. I think it gets a bad rap. I really do. But whatever. Bottom line, it's a great series. Apparently, we all appreciate all of them, except maybe.
It's probably one of the few series that has that many films that is solid throughout. It's up there with like the Saws and with like Death Wish for me.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
Like those are like I love the Death Wish franchise. I think everyone is great. The only reason you only seen what?
I've only seen part 1, and I heard the other ones were kind of like more, I don't know, goofy. Like they weren't kind of like comparing like how serious Rocky 1 was to like something. You know what I mean? Like the first one I heard is like a straight up movie, serious drama, fucking family sadness and all that other stuff. And the other ones are more like shoot 'em up, fucking explosion type movies, like
but they're a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was looking at my notes. What series are we talking about? I apologize.
Death Wish.
Oh yeah, they're fun. Yeah, the first one is again kind of like they're trying to make a kind of a serious movie, and then Death Wish 2 and 3 and 4 are the canon balls to the wall ridiculousness fun movies, like bad exploitative, like they're just fucking crazy. And then 5 is weak.
Yeah, 5's the weakest, but it's the Rocky 5 of Death Wishes.
Yeah.
In fact, they were gonna originally call it Death Wish 5, Rocky 5.
Of the Death Wishes.
Of the Death Wishes.
Okay, next question for Chris, and I like this, and I'm glad he said this. Okay, number 2, thoughts on the Karate Kid Part 3. I think it's unfairly maligned, and I am with him.
I never thought it was unfairly maligned because I love it.
Yeah, really? And I like it too, but I'm going by total memory because I haven't watched 2 or 3 for like years.
Terry
like
Silver,
well before we did the show.
Terry Silva, Mike Barnes, and it's all stuff that's going to come back into play in Cobra Kai. It's awesome.
The first Karate Kid I can watch over and over again. I watched the remake with my son, and we were planning on doing 2 and 3 with Cobra Kai craze and everything like that. We just haven't gotten to it yet. But I'm looking forward to them. I had never had a problem with it. I thought the new Karate Kid or the next Karate Kid was the one that was kind of like, eh. I thought 1, 2, and 3 were held in a fairly high regard.
Everyone seems to talk about how much they love 2 and how much 3 is kind of bad. I know what he's saying. It is unfairly maligned, but I will tell you this. Up until this year, if you asked me this 2 years ago, I would say that I like 3 more than 2, or 3's better than 2. But I'll tell you this. I watched them all this past year, and I've always been an advocate of 3 because it seemed more fun to me like the first one. And that was done. They tried to do everything. They tried to have the same beats in part 3 that they did in part 1, which often happens in part 3s in franchises. We see this a lot.
It was a Crush Groove beat.
What's that, see?
It was a Crush Groove beat, I heard they had.
But like part 2 is really serious. It's more drama than anything. And it's fine. And I do like it. But the thing is, 3 always had this charm to it. But now this past year when I watched it, I didn't like it quite as much, but I still really like it. And I think 2 and 3 I'm even with for different reasons. The thing about 3, and I've said this once on a show that no one's ever going to hear, but this would have been a great idea. When they made 3, and we see Terry Silver in on it from the beginning, talking to Kreese, that's a great setup. I think Terry Silver is a little bit overboard, and I don't usually critique acting, but it's almost like he's really too mustache twirly for me. Sometimes the way his acting is, he's
a little Levi Etheridge.
Levi Etheridge, yes. He's a little Levi for me. He overacts a bit, there's stuff like that. But I like. But here's what I'm saying: we see the beats going. We know what it's going to lead to. I think the movie would have been so much better if, when we see that Kreese is alive, and when we see what Terry Silver's plan really is, we find out at the same time Daniel does. And they do it like flashback. If that movie was made now, that's how it would be done, like almost like on a Saw flashback style. Like, this is what brought us here. And then they flash back to them. Just imagine that impact, though. Like, if you're on the trip with Daniel in that movie, thinking that, this bad boy of karate, what's going on, and he's being the torment of trying to enter the tournament again, and Miyagi doesn't want him to, and being trained and getting in a fight with Miyagi, and this Terry Silver guy training him, and we're along on the ride with him, and then all of a sudden, when Kreese jumps out from behind that fucking cardboard thing, imagine if we're just as shocked as Daniel is, and then we're like, what the fuck is this? And then they explain it. I think would be so much better. How much they could remake it, because I think it done wonders for the movie. But I know that he doesn't like it at all. Like, if you like Ralph Macchio, just completely knocks the movie. And because after I watched him, I was doing some research on him, and he was saying that we tried too hard to do this and that, and there was problems on the set and some other things. I do think it's good. I think that they're all good. I never saw the remake or the next Karate Kid, but I do think it's unfairly
the remake's okay if you don't think of it in regards of nostalgia to the original. Like pretty much any remake.
Next Karate Kid is cheesy as hell.
But I love her, and that was the first time I ever saw her on screen in a commercial. I was like, "Ooh, who's this girl? She's hot." You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Ooh, Hilary Swank.
That's me wanting to see it in it too. Yeah.
Well, I like Part 3 because I love Robin Lively.
I gotta watch those again. Man. I don't remember it. I really don't remember it.
Yeah, she's the girl. She's the girlfriend in that, the redhead.
But she's not. They never played the role.
No, they never pursued.
There's a reason for it. Yeah, but originally that wasn't supposed to be that way, and then somebody felt weird. Something happened. He was like 10 years older, so they decided not to make her the fucking love interest and to change it, and like literally change it.
Wasn't he like 30? The Karate Kid, the Karate adult.
He's like almost 70 years old now.
Yeah, but in Part 3, I don't think he was like, by that point, I'm pretty sure he was.
Ralph Macchio has aged well because he's very old.
The Italians often do. It's the thing. We age well. We're lucky.
I like Part 3, though. The only thing I would have changed is I would have had Mike Barnes win the fight because he could have easily just kicked Daniel in the face while he's doing that whole fucking kata routine.
But he did. But he did kick his ass the whole fight. And that's why my wife didn't like it. When we were watching it, she's like, well, geez, how's he going to win? He's just getting his ass kicked. And if he does win, it's stupid. But he did set himself up. He kept getting disqualified. He kept losing points. So it makes sense. At the end of the day, the better karate fighter is not fucking Daniel LaRusso. The better fighter is definitely Mike Barnes. He just gets fucking lucky because the guy kept losing points because he was kicking his ass. And that's kind of the problem with it. It kind of makes Daniel look weak still. He wins by default almost. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to remember, it's also he was very early into his karate. Don't forget, it's like this happens over a short period of time with him and Miyagi. So that's what I love so much about Cobra Kai. Wow. Now we've had a lifetime of him studying, and he fucking, the fight sequences in that are fucking fantastic. Even for Johnny and Ralph Macchio. What's that?
You can't say that because you can't say that.
My daughter actually thinks Ralph Macchio's a bad actor in that. She says, I don't really like his acting. She thinks everybody else is fine, but Ralph Macchio just.
I don't think he's known as a great actor.
Well, no, I agree. Like he's been in good stuff, but that's it, exactly. He was like 27, 28. He was 28 when I think the film was released. Rocky or Karate Kid 3, which is easy to say because it was directed by the guy that did Rocky. It's directed by John Avildsen or whatever. He did Rocky and Rocky 5. Stallone did the other ones.
I'm so
and then he did the 3 Karate Kids.
What can I say?
You can't say. No, what I'm saying is, if you're gonna complain about him not knowing karate long enough, first of all, part 1 he learns pretty. That's fine. He's able to beat a fucking 2-time state champion. Okay, fair and square and hurt. Okay, part 2 he literally fights for his life in fucking Okinawa against a freaking OG karate guy. That's great. Okay, so by the time 3 comes around, I have enough confidence that this guy knows how to fight. So I don't say he's too new. I just think that Barnes is that much better. But the knock on fucking on Cobra Kai for me personally, I've never said it out loud because I enjoy the show. I don't mention it when I'm watching it, but I'm like, geez, all these kids really pick up fucking. Well, I don't critique it with my family if I watch with them. But I'm just like, all these children pick it up way too fucking quick.
Well, yeah, you're talking about the kids, and I agree with you. But that's why certain episodes where Johnny, it's not really a spoiler, but Johnny fights his own kid for a little bit, and he fucking destroys him in 2 seconds. Like, that's what I like. Like, the adults kick ass.
That's good.
Daniel going back.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was going to say Daniel fighting Chosen, Daniel learning about Miyagi techniques. The fight sequences between the adults, even though they're older now. I mean, they literally, Ralph Macchio, I think, is 60. And Johnny's like 55. So they're older. I think they do a great job. I do agree with you that the kids are fucking a little bit quick to like become black belts in 2 seconds, but I do fucking respect the hell out of Bert for cracking that it's not a cat outside 2 seconds after he's thrown through the fucking window. Fucking Bert is the man. The little redhead with the glasses.
Yeah, Jeremy. Yes.
He's right. The fucking man. He's like, I think there's a cat outside. Goes outside, gets fucking thrown through the window, and then he's like, there's no cat outside. Like, fuck, Bert, you're the man. I would have been like, take me to the fucking hospital now. No, he's like, I'm gonna finish this fucking joke.
You know what I did like is when in season 3, I want to say, I can't remember. Well, it had to be Hawk. There was new people coming in from another group, and he challenged him, and he got in the ring, and he fucking literally got his fucking ass handed to him all over that mat. And I said, good, that makes sense. This guy's been training here for fucking 2 years, and this guy, while he thinks he's a badass and he's off the street and he's a school bully, he gets in there and he gets fucking humiliated. See, I like that. That was the one time where they actually, you know what I mean? They did it right. Like, okay,
Hawk
why should this guy
fucking cool? Hawk's the fucking man.
Well, now, I don't want to get into spoilers, but I really did not like him for the longest fucking time. I would tell you that. I thought he was an asshole.
Oh, he was definitely an asshole, but I liked him.
I still didn't. I don't know. But anyway, enough of this. We got to go on to the next question. Okay. See, did you even answer that question? I know I talked so long about part 3.
I said I hadn't seen it in ages. So I can't really. I never thought it was. I never thought it was an outsider. I thought they were kind of all loved and
respected.
I never even. Yeah. Speaking of that, he directed The Outsiders too.
Good answer.
Oh, wait, no, he didn't. I thought Coppola did, but wait, let me see.
Coppola, he did. Really?
Wait, let me just double check because I'm pretty sure. Anyway, you get to the next question. I'll look this out.
Okay.
No. Sorry. Ralph Macchio was in The Outsiders. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
But Coppola directed it,
Who wasn't in the fucking Outsiders? They were all in
I was in the fucking Outsiders.
You knew Coppola directed it, though, right?
No.
That's why I said, I'm like, that couldn't have been right, but I was looking at the actor, not the director.
So. I haven't watched The Outsiders since I've known who Coppola is. So think about it that way. Like, I watched it a lot as a kid in the 80s. You know what I mean? So now I would go back and put it on and say, holy fuck. When it came on the screen directed by Coppola, I'd be like, holy fuck. But at the time, it's just like any other movie, you know? It would have been like watching fucking, what was that movie? My Bodyguard or something back in the 80s, you know?
My Bodyguard.
Well, My Bodyguard and The Outsiders.
I like that one too. Mike Makepeace or whatever, Chris Makepeace or whatever is in that, right?
Yeah,
From
yeah.
Meatballs?
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love to make peace, not war.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, number 3. Rank the Rambo movies in order of preference. Now this, I'm going to go right now and say this. I have only seen the 2, 3, and 4. I've seen once a piece. I've seen the first one about half a dozen times. For First Blood, and I've never seen part 5. So I will tell you this. I'll explain why. To me, part 1 is by far and away the fucking best. That's a movie that's believable to a degree. It's fine. I saw part 2. I remember Rambo First Blood part 2 comes out. I went there and I saw it, and I said, okay, it's a little bit less believable. And then part 3 was just fucking absurdly fucking unbelievable, and it was a turnoff for me. So like I said, I only saw them once. So I'm gonna rank them differently. Then I saw the new one that came out, John Rambo Part 4, I guess, and really liked it. I was like, okay, this movie I'm into. This is fun. It's gory. There's some fun kills. It's cool. I like the story. Did not see Last Blood. I will. I think I may even own it. I don't even know for sure. So my ranking is 1, 4, 2, and 3. But First Blood, that's a fucking movie.
Oh, you didn't see Last Blood?
No, I did not.
Well, okay, so that's funny that you. So my rankings, and I've seen them all a ton. Last Blood, twice. So that's the only one I haven't seen a ton. But the other ones I've seen a ton. First Blood, no question. Rambo 4, Rambo 2, Last Blood, Rambo 3. Now, Chris A.K. Scott said he didn't think Last Blood was even a Rambo movie, so he didn't include it. But I do. I like it a lot, and I think it's above 3. 3 is the most generic. 3 felt like they're just trying to remake part 2,
it's like
but at a lesser extent. And it was like, and then they put a kid in it. They were trying to get like a more maybe like a PG-13 rating instead of R. But First Blood is still a classic. It's like a slasher film, kind of. It really is. He's in the woods. He's like trying to take out the police. It's amazing. And then 4, I never thought, like 2 was a favorite of mine as a kid. I loved it. Lots of explosions. Just like, again, not a lot of dialogue. It was just fun. But 4 overtook it. Like, I just love 4. It was just amazing. So, and that's it. That's my dissertation. I'll let Brandon go.
No, actually, I think I'm right there with you. 1, 4, 2, 5, 3. I think
nice.
that's the
exactly.
right order. Yeah.
So we're all about 1 and 4, which is cool. We all have the same top 2.
Yeah, I love this last one also. I mean, it's a franchise it's a solid franchise. Even the worst ones are still pretty good.
I didn't hear anything good about it. Last Blood. I didn't like when it first came out. I didn't hear anybody like when John Rambo came out. I heard people talk about it. Say, you know what? Pretty good, better than I thought it'd be. Check it out. When Last Blood came out, it kind of just came and went, and I didn't hear anything. So I was like, wow.
I feel like it got mostly negative reviews from people, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I found it to be a very fun film.
Yeah, because it's not a Rambo movie in the traditional sense. He's at home. It's a family situation, and human trafficking, drugs.
Yeah.
And he just it's like a revenge movie.
Yeah.
It's more like Death Wish, or I think when I was texting Chris back, he said it was like a Taken movie. Rewritten for Stallone almost. And
except he draws everyone back to him at his farm, and he has his whole farm like booby trapped and set up to take out like the whole cartel.
Like Friday the 13th remake, like tunnels under the ground and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Halloween
cool,
2018.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. I'm curious about it now.
It's definitely better than 3. It's definitely better than 3. 3, I rewatched 3 a few years ago, and I remember going, yep, that still hasn't held up. It's just everything they did. Like where part 2, the guy blows up. He has those explosive arrows and blows the guy up. That was a great scene in part 2. And in part 3, they just recreate every one of those moments again, but to a lesser impact.
I prefer the Rocky movie that's in UHF over Rocky. The Rambo. In UHF over the Rambo 3.
That sequence is the best. UHF is an amazing movie. That aged well.
Beautifully.
I watched that with my son, and he's like, I love this. And he doesn't even know what UHF is or anything like that. He just loved it. To save the radio. I mean, it's Breaking 2 plot. We got to save the station.
I have to watch it now, but I can't believe that you're all about UHF, but you say to sit down and listen to Weird Al Yankovic in 3D, that whole album, or Dare to Be Stupid, or any ones that came out at that time aren't great listens, because they are.
No, I didn't say they weren't great listens. I said they're not. It's not something I would like. Oh, you got to let's put on Weird Al right now. Boom. Oh, you dropped the needle down on the record. No, it's not like that.
I don't mean that.
I'll put him down on. I'll put him on YouTube.
On there.
I'll put him on YouTube and watch the Smells Like what was it? The Smells Like Teen Spirit knockoff, or and then how he recreates the video and the Eat It video and all the videos that he did, because he put just as much love in the recreation and the mock of the video as he did the music as well.
Agree.
So that's why I say it's a visual piece, which is why UHF is phenomenal. Which a lot of people thought it was a misstep because they just put that Beverly Hillbillies video and Smack Dag in the middle. But all the sketches, the plot, the jokes, it's a funny ass movie.
I'm gonna watch it. I am gonna watch it. Now I'm just, when you said you bought the fucking album, Weird Al Yankovic in 3D, and listened to Eat It, and the rest of the album sucked, I was like, what the fuck? That's a great fucking album, man. I'm telling you.
I think you're putting words in my mouth. I don't know if I ever said it sucked.
I thought you did.
No, I just said
to eat it, and then he actually ate the album.
Yeah.
So he didn't hear anymore.
It was like spinning the record backwards. Must eat album.
Those polkas he did were fucking amazing. It was polka songs, and he would have like whatever the top 40 hits were at the time in one song. They were fucking brilliant, dude. His comedy mixed with music, he was top notch for like 3 or 4 albums there. He had a stretch. He was great. It kind of became what you're saying later on for me. There was like 1 or 2 good songs in that album, but for a while there, man, he was on top of the world, I thought. But anyway, I will watch UHF again. It was just one of my things where like when a musician was in a movie like that, for some reason I didn't think it was going to be good.
Oh, it's hilarious. Gold Miller gets to you found the marble in the oatmeal. You get to drink from the fire hose. They put the fire hose right into the kid's mouth, and it fucking blows him like a fucking mile.
Watch. It's got to be available somewhere, right?
That's the Badgers movie. Badgers? Yeah. Badgers? We don't sell no stinking badgers.
We don't need no stinking badgers. He does
we don't
the animal.
Need no stinking badgers. Oh, I fucked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, he does the animal show. There's a scene where
don't
he's teaching.
Don't spoil every fucking joke in the movie, please.
No, he's teaching poodles how to fly. He's teaching poodles how to fly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Weird Al runs the television station, and he didn't hire the guy, and his assistant didn't hire the guy. Like, who put this guy on? And he's teaching poodles how to fly. He's throwing them out the window, and there's just a big, huge pile of dead poodles at the bottom of the.
But it's funny.
It's funny, yeah. Like, he's not really killing poodles, but they are killing poodles.
Yeah, we won't spoil anymore, but yes, Gandhi 2 is another highlight.
I'll look
into it. You just gotta watch it.
Okay. I'll sober it up real quick for Brandon. Here you go. Top 3 favorite metal bands. Brandon probably has none.
Yeah, I mean, I have never listened to metal. I'm sorry. I never got into metal.
Be sorry, you know?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're not sorry about it. Sorry, suckage.
Megadeth's album. Slayer album. I'm sure they all have self-titled albums, right?
No, not albums, just bands. He's just asking about bands. And there is no
Slayer, Megadeth, and Fuck You Yankee Blue Jeans.
Go ahead, Steve. Because,
I mean, this it's
gonna be True Blue.
We were texting back and forth, so I already gave Chris this information. However, I did forget. I can't believe I forgot a band. It's whether or not 2 of these bands, it's relative or not if you consider them metal. But again, Iron Maiden is my jam, always has been. That was the band that got me into it. Like, yes, Van Halen, Aerosmith, and rock were kind of pushed me towards it. But Iron Maiden would be the metal band that I say got me into it and stayed with me. And then I would have to say that I said Lamb of God next because I wasn't into that really aggressive stuff, but it would really be Ghost and Tool if you consider both those bands metal. But if you don't consider those bands metal, then it would be Lamb of God and then probably Metallica.
I don't know if I consider them metal, but I definitely consider you a Tool.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying, you fucking skunk. But that's
actually, my wife is starting a new band. It's a spin-off for Tool. It's called Wrench.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured you'd be more true blue, but it's funny because here's what I did. I make lists for fucking everything. So like I have my notepad and just like I'll be sitting around one day and I'll obsess about it for like a day. It'll occupy my spare time. And I'm just gonna write down all my favorite bands, period. So I wrote down like my top 30 bands ever. Just one day I just sat around and said, this is and I do it for lots of different things, regular movies, albums, everything. I just do it. I just make lists. I'm obsessed with writing this information down in case it comes up. So if I look at my list, what people are going to consider metal and not, I don't know. I listen to a lot of rock and roll. I listen to a lot of shit. I listen to everything, but I'm going to say this. Okay, Metallica is number one. And this is a weird comparison, but Metallica for me is kind of like the Friday the 13th franchise. And what I mean by that is the first 4 or 5 fucking releases are absolutely stellar. Like you got Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. Then you even have the EP, the 598 tape, which is what I had, EP, Garage Days. And then And Justice for All, which is probably my favorite metal album ever and probably, in my opinion, the best album of the 1980s period. I think it's fucking incredible, stellar album, And Justice for All.
Album.
So what they did after that, the Black Album's good, and then they just kept, I was really out of her for a while. Then they had a couple lately that weren't bad. So it's kind of like Friday the 13th, where the highs were so high that you have all these 10 out of 10s that I can't, their other work wasn't so poor that I have to discredit them. So I'm going to have to say Metallica's number one. Now, number two, see, if I look at all my top bands and I look at them, here's some of the names that are on there that could be, maybe considered metal. Okay, there's 9 Inch Nails. I don't know. Maybe it's considered industrial. Their first album wasn't metal at all. So, okay.
I get it, though. Okay. I get it because it's like a hybrid or a smash up of genre in a sense.
Right. And a lot of his stuff is harder than a lot of metal bands is when he goes hard. You know what I mean? It's hard to say. Then you have like Alice in Chains. Do you just consider that alternative? Bands like that? Soundgarden? I don't know. They're pretty hard as far as I'm concerned.
The Chains are metal, though, so.
Then you got Manson. I don't know. Is Manson industrial too? What the fuck is he?
Well, I don't know.
He's a killer, Charles Manson.
Okay. So you got Manson. Then Tool is also on my list of just top 25 bands. So Tool is there as well. And then I have Van Halen there. Now, Van Halen, do you consider them metal or do you consider them rock and roll?
Hard rock. There's that time frame where hard rock, AC/DC and Aerosmith was rock, and then maybe hard rock, and then like Van Halen, like that. Yeah, AC/DC.
So I'll mention those bands. You know what I mean? And it's like Van Halen is the only band. There are 2 other bands where the singer left that could be on this group, on this list of best metal bands. But when the singer left, I didn't like their replacement. In Van Halen, as much as I'm a Dave guy, I am okay with Sammy also.
Yeah.
I'm a Gary Sharon guy.
You're the only one.
Now, there's another band, big band, who could be on this list if you consider them heavy metal, and that's Black Sabbath. But the thing with me is...
Well, the original heavy metal band, but...
It's the Ozzy years. Yes. Everything they did with Ozzy, I love. I've never been interested in the Dio because I'm so high on Ozzy that I can't imagine another singer coming in that band. It's weird. And it's the same thing with Anthrax, who completely different kind of music, but I love their first fucking 4 or 5 albums with the original singer, with Joey, and then they replaced him with someone else, and I immediately stopped listening. So Van Halen's the one in...
Yeah, no, I can't argue any of this. I even had I'm very mainstream. If Chris really wants a detailed argument of metal, talk to Don Anelli, because I'm generic metal. I'm more Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, a little bit of Slayer, and then probably Lamb of God is as kind of crazy as I go. Now, Chris has been throwing me some.
Can I get rack of Lamb of God?
With a
little mint sauce, please.
Yeah.
How about Ram of God? The Ram Man.
Yeah.
Ram of God.
Yeah, it's passive aggressor in everybody's list. Like, Ram, you've got to promote it more on the page.
Them.
That's Ram's band.
Oh, really?
I remember them.
Oh, that is them.
Their first 4 or 5 albums were
I
fire.
remember them. He's like
that.
See, well, that's awesome. Even Ram's going to be like, he remembers me.
First 4 or 5 albums.
I was thinking of another band that had a name similar to Passive Aggressor. What the fuck is it?
Oh,
damn it.
But Ram, you do need to promote your band more on our page.
And we should talk music more on the page, I think. We should have a section where we just talk about music. I think we should implement some more things on the page where it's our group anyway. Why not just have the other stuff in there too? But anyway, if I'm really going just strict bands that I know 100% are metal, after Metallica, because again, those other ones are fringe, there's no question, because this is the one band that I think is the most consistent in all of fucking metal ever. No question about it, and that's Slayer. I think Slayer, from their fucking, even though their first 2 albums, I don't like the way they were produced per se, but even to the stuff that they put out, the last 2 albums, even the one album without fucking Jeff in it, who passed away sadly, they are extremely consistent, and I love Slayer, and I think fucking South of Heaven and Rain of Blood are just fucking extraordinary albums. Extraordinary.
Yeah.
So it's hard for them to not be the number 2. Number 3, I don't know. It's the bands that I mentioned also. I have gotten into Lamb of God recently as well. I think that they're really good. They're the closest thing to a Slayer. So they're consistent. I like them a lot. But take what you will from all the bands I mentioned. But and I like Maiden too. I'm not into their whole career. I'm into a lot of the early stuff. After Seventh Son, I just kind of fell out of them a bit.
That's when they switched. Well, no, they didn't switch. Sorry, they had 2 more generic albums that I liked because I was such a fan. I was such a fan of everything leading up to it. So No Prayer for the Dying and Fear of the Dark, which were weaker albums. They should have just been one album combined with their best, and it might have been salvageable. Then they went with a different singer, Blaze Bailey or whatever, and I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of the albums. And then they came back with Brave New World, and that album was great. And that really feels like the true follow-up to Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. But then, and they've kept releasing them, because like horror fans, metal fans are passionate and diehard, they keep buying albums. And so Maiden's had a pretty great career since 2000 to now, and most people think they're just some 80s band that played, but they've released quite a few albums.
I'm starting a channel where all I'm doing is smashing metal tapes and metal vinyl and metal CDs.
Dude, can you start by smashing that hat?
I'm smashing Lamb of God with a lamb shank.
That should be the gimmick. You know, it's like Anthrax. It's like some powdered.
And I'm yelling, passive aggressive Ram Man.
I still think Helter Skelter I still think Helter Skelter, the song by the Beatles, is the first metal song. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Oh, then I like metal because I like the Beatles.
Hard.
Beatles are my favorite.
You like that song, Helter Skelter?
I love Helter Skelter.
Like Helter Skelter? It's a great album, great song.
And I love Van Halen. I'm a huge metal fan between the Beatles and Van Halen.
You like Black Sabbath? You like Led Zeppelin?
I do, yeah. I'm a metal fan.
Are they metal? That's the thing. Are they metal? Then you get into the whole thing, and we're not the people qualified. Even though I love all music, I could throw
Black Sabbath is metal. Black Sabbath is down metal, and they're one of my favorite. They're one of my favorites. But if I was just putting on music now, it's typically not Black Sabbath. I go through phases. But right now, like on my phone, I have maybe a handful of Black Sabbath songs. A handful, whereas I got like albums of Lamb of God, Iron Maiden, etc., etc. So like that, I just go by what's currently I'm listening to right now and what seems to be always on my phone, which is weird because what was always in my collection before.
I've been doing this thing lately for the past like 6 months actually, where I'll take a band. Well, that constantly, but I'll take a band and I will listen to their entire library from fucking start to finish. Even bands that I'm into, that I have listened to these albums several times. And recently, I listened to the first 5 Sabbath albums. Then I stopped, and I'm going to go back to it. But I do that a lot. Like, I just finished Oasis. I just listened to fucking 8 Oasis albums fucking straight because they're in my top 10 bands, period. They're another band that went on that people don't realize. And outside of the States, they're pretty much big worldwide, but I think they're a very overlooked fucking rock and roll band.
Soccer. They're like the soccer of music.
I believe it's football.
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. But that's what I do. I'll pick a band and I'll just fucking randomly it's fun. I'll listen to every album. Sometimes I tire in the middle of it or something. I'll stop and I'll listen to fucking Fish for a week or something and come back. I just do shit like that. But I mean, I even listened to every Madonna album fucking front to back over the past year. Most of them I haven't even heard. Like
one of my favorite metal
I just wanted to do it one day.
Madonna.
Yeah. Huge metal.
I'm living in a material world.
Anyway, I could talk about music forever, so we better stop. I wouldn't mind doing it more, though. If more people have questions about it, like talk about different rap albums or talk about this. And I love my music. That's for sure.
That would require too much prep for me.
Too much prep.
Are we gonna do the new movie or the old movie first? I know we always go to the old movie, but I want to change that because I figure we're gonna have to do spoiler talk at the end anyway. Correct?
Yes. So we gotta go old then. I think, right? We got one more question though. Remember.
Matter.
We
have another question. I'm sorry.
Fuck your idea.
Yeah, I know. Fuck my way of transitioning to the fucking movie reviews.
Not at all. So what you're saying is this. You want to, even though we're going to do spoilers, you want to do the new movie now?
We're doing the old movie first now. We're doing the old movie first. Don't try to patronize.
No, go ahead. Patronize him. It's a stupid fucking idea, Dave. Do it.
That's what didn't make sense to me.
Then do the old movie, then do the new movie spoilers after.
I'm smashing a tape live on the show.
I'm confused. Why would you even recommend that? I don't get what's the merit of that?
Well, what difference does it make? If we're going to have the spoiler segment after the credit sequence, what difference would order we go in?
Well, is there a reason why you want to do the new movie first, or are you just for the fuck of it?
Just for the fuck of it.
I don't care.
I don't care. I actually think it might be one of the worst ideas in 136 episodes.
And you're wearing that hat. That means something to me.
I'm wearing this hat.
That's why I wanted to transition to the question. I wanted to get the last question, figuring Christian will come to his senses by the end of it, because I'm not even going to acknowledge what he said, because I thought maybe I was hearing it wrong.
I don't even know if I can answer a question. I don't know if my brain can get over the stupidity that was this recommendation.
Listeners are going to be on my side. They're going to be like, of course, because you guys, we can't barely talk about the movie. We're going to be talking about the movie for 2 minutes.
So you should review the Vigil spoiler free, then do an entirely different movie, then review the Vigil spoiler. What?
Exactly. After the fucking credits.
But that kills the flow. Wouldn't you rather do the Vigil and then end it and then
I edit the thing. I'm talking about editing. I have to just go like, boom. It doesn't matter when we record the fucking thing.
Can you edit me right out of the show because I have to go right now?
Well, why even mention it to us? Why even mention it to us if you're going to... Oh, I know. You should have just seen the whole thing.
What the fuck is going on here? I am in the right, and all the listeners, as usual.
You edit the video. What about the video?
I did...
Oh, my God. So the video version is going to be... Is that how you're going to try to sell the video version better? And if you watch the video version, you'll get everything in chronological review order instead of the split-up version, which is only on the audio.
He's about to smash all his Iron Maiden. Christian, can you edit my hat out of the video?
That would take some... No, I'm not that skilled.
I love that hat, but I just noticed something. The top of it... I forget. I'm not even going to fuck with it.
No, I know. The top what? The top what?
Fuck the two of you. I'm team VHS Misfits stuff. I'm actually out of that group. I left. I'm like, this group, I go, there's nothing redeeming in this group. I don't want to buy any videos from them.
Well,
Dave's friends with them now.
Buy it.
What's wrong with the top of the hat? Tell me.
Dave. Nothing's wrong with it. We're just joking.
It's fine. For a second, the way it was crumpled, it looked like a penis head, like the tip of a penis. Just for a second.
Think of him fucking hair. It's held. That whole thing. His head was.
All right, what was the last question? I think I'm over Christian's idea of reviewing a movie, then doing 10 other movies, then going back to the original movie to talk about the ending. Christian, we love this. It's actually not a terrible idea. It's beyond that.
It's gonna be.
I was saying talk about the movie first, and I was editing it that way. I'm not talking about stopping talking about it, jumping to the next movie, and then going into the spoiler reviews. I'm saying talk about the new movie first, and then when I edit it, I'll just put the spoiler talk at the end, like we've been fucking doing.
But
I hate both of you.
But then where are you putting the first movie?
This is my last show.
Yeah. I was going to concede. I was going to say there's a good reason for it. Because it's going to be a short review, and we're kind of in this fun mode right now, and then we're going to do a short review, which is going to be a fun thing, and then we're going to do something else fun, like Fangoria or some bullshit talk or something, and then we'll save the real serious review of the old movie at the end when it's just going to be a review.
Serious review of the old movie? Really? I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like the serious review is the Vigil. Review.
We're gonna go the same way we've always gone. We're gonna talk about the possession first, and it's gonna end here.
Okay. Can we answer this fifth question? Holy fuck! I'm sweating here.
What other? We have another question.
It's a Star Wars.
Buddy, I was trying to tell you the thing.
It's a Star Wars ranking.
Yeah. Rank the 3 Disney Star Wars movie in order of preference. He says, I like the first one, the second one is unwatchable, and the third one is average. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, B, are you a fan? I can't remember.
I'm a fan. I've only seen them once, but...
That's just it, right.
I don't know if it's fair for me to rank.
It really doesn't count then. Yeah.
It really doesn't. I don't really feel like I've seen them enough. I feel like I need to rewatch the whole franchise at this point.
What about Letterboxd? Do you have it on there? That's how I got mine, because my memory's dick.
Oh, I've got the Disney Channel, man.
I don't have it on Letterboxd.
Okay.
I don't have my ratings on Letterboxd. No, not for those.
We'll go back to you. After you listen to what we say, maybe you'll figure it out. Go ahead.
He left out the other ones. He left out Rogue. Like, I know he's talking about the official series, but actually Rogue One is my favorite of everything that they've done movie-wise from the new ones. So I have to say Rogue One, even if that's not what he just wanted the 7, 8, 9. Still, Rogue One's the best thing movie-wise. Then Force Awakens, then Revenge of the Sith, and then The Last Jedi. I did not like The Last Jedi when I saw it in the theater. I thought we were getting punked. I actually despised it as well. And upon rewatch, which took me over a year, I watched it before I went to see Revenge of the Sith. The Last Jedi I thought was like a third of a good movie. Like, there's okay stuff in it, but I really don't care about that movie at all. Like, it doesn't even really feel Star Warsy to me. Just
Which
one? The Last Jedi, the second 8. It's horrible.
Wow.
I know you'll love it, but it's not. It was horrible. Let me rephrase that. It was horrible the first time I saw it. I was the second time leading into, and I've only watched it those 2 times.
Yeah, what's Revenge of the Sith? That's episode 3. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry. Rise of Skywalker is the third one.
Getting confused. I was like, what is he talking? Okay, that's where I was getting confused. Okay.
Sorry, man. So there's Rogue One, Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi. If I had to put Solo in there, I'd put it above The Last Jedi.
Mine's Rise of the Clones, Attack of the Sith, and A New Hope. Christian, I'm fucking with you.
Last episode.
Yeah. This is the last episode.
Well, here's what I had to do. I have seen all of these movies twice, except Force Awakens, which I've probably seen about 4 times. Yet, this past year, I had a little time off work, and during that time off, I watched the entire franchise again. And for some reason, either way, I watched them all to refresh everything, and that was my second watch of everything, because I saw them at the theater, and then I came home, and then I watched them all again. For whatever reason, Force Awakens I saw the most times. I saw it twice at the theater and twice at home now. So here's what I had to do. legitimately had to look them up on Letterboxd to see what I ranked them, because when I think back to them, I don't necessarily I love them all. Like this is my franchise. What I said about Rocky before is one thing. To me, every movie in this fucking franchise is an 8 or higher, and that's just me. And I will.
Did you rank them that high?
I love them all, and you. And you know I'm not a franchise fanboy, because here when I talk about Friday the 13th, if I think a movie's not good, even if it's in there, I'll say I don't think it's as good. But for whatever reason, these Disney movies, whatever they are, I think I prefer them a little bit to the prequels. And my explanation is this: the prequels were too much story, not enough action. The new movies are too much action, not enough story. In the middle, the original trilogy is the perfect fucking blend of it all. That's my takeaway from those three. But it's like
I agree with you for sure.
Thank you. Cool. And what part one, what the sequels lacked, they were very heavy emphasis also on the sword, on the lightsaber battles, and it's like the Star Wars themselves were gone. Like I remember going to see Force Awakens, and I was like, this is what I want to see. They were showing fucking space, and they were showing the fucking starships and people firing at each other and all that action. That was great stuff. That was what the prequels lacked. But anyway, going by those rankings, I rated the Force Awakens. I gave 5 stars on Letterboxd, which means for me it's at least a 9. I gave the second one, The Last Jedi, I gave it 4.5. So it's at least an 8.5 for me. And I gave Rise of Skywalker 5 stars, which again, it's at least going to be a 9 for me. So I love them all. And it's weird, but when I first saw this question, I was actually going to think that the second one was my favorite of the 3. But when I look back on it, I rated it the low. But for some reason, when I look back on it now, I just love all the stuff between Rey and what's his name? And
Egon.
Finn. No. Just everything about the way that movie starts when Luke throws the fucking thing. Do Rey Egon. I think it's an underrated movie. I think people shit on it because they expected something different, and I like that they went in a different type of direction with it. I'm glad they didn't.
No, we expected something good. Is what that's the different spy. Good is what we were wanting.
Dark as fuck. It was dark as fuck.
I don't think it was dark. You got that casino scene, the fucking writing. There was so much wrong. Bad CG. Like a whole subplot that you just didn't give a shit about. Rose getting wedged in there as a character that I couldn't give a fuck about. Like there was so much wrong. Leia floating through fucking space.
Oh, I love that scene.
It's so much laughably. We laughed. My wife and I. That's why I'm like, is this? Please tell me this is a 30-minute punked video that we're just like, now the movie's gonna start because we've just punked you for the last 30 minutes because this is not a real movie. I was like going like, this is fucking terrible. What happened? What the fuck happened here? And I know that I'm not alone, but I know some people think it's one of the best in the series, and those people are fucked. You know, we're talking about you just had it on your last Watsy show. Yeah, I listen every now and then. No, I listen. I told Watson I listen, and he goes, well, we talk nicely about exploding heads. I go, that's not the reason I'm going to listen. I listen. I rated you guys. I'm the one rating in Canada that you guys have. And I showed Watson that review, not rating, but review. But anyway, where I'm going with it is you guys have a segment where you talk about being, can you be wrong? Can your opinion be wrong? You could be objectively wrong. I think a lot of people are objectively wrong on their stance of the Last Jedi. I think it's I honestly would take the prequels over that movie, I think. And I'm not a fan of the prequels.
I am a fan of all of them, but here's the thing. I feel like I'm on the defense. I think everybody shit on fucking Last Jedi. And it kind of irked me at the time because I really enjoyed it. And I like the fact that Luke threw away the freaking lightsaber when he got it instead of freaking going all gun-ho. And I love the fucking, the backstory of what happened with, I keep forgetting his fucking name. What's his real name? See, that's how fucked up I am in the movie. Ben. Okay, I'm going to call him Ben. Ben Solo, whatever.
Ben
Bummer? I'm going to call him Ben. Name. So anyway, I love the story of what actually went down with Ben and the training and everything else and how we got the two side to the story and everything that was going on between Rey and Ben and how they were communicating and all that shit. Man, I really fucking dug it. It was just dark to me, and I was just, even when she wanted him to join them, and then what happens with fucking Snoke and all that stuff, that scene, damn. And the thing with Leia, I remember loving it. Huh?
Was Willard in it or just Ben?
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah, Ben and Willard.
Just like the prequels, they fucked up the chance to have some, like, Snook getting killed and then bringing the Empire back. I don't get me wrong. There's a lot that I liked when I first saw Rise of Skywalker, and then when I went back to watch it again, I did not like it as much because, again, they had this character that they could have carried through like the Emperor, and they ended up getting rid of him in the second one. Really half-assed. Well, actually, the best scene in the second one, to be honest. But they should have kept him through. There's so much missed opportunity. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. He shouldn't have been there in the first place because there was no story. I remember seeing Force Awakens and saying, "Who the fuck is this guy? He has all this power. Where did he come from? How come we never knew about him before?" That's actually what bothered me. I was like, it didn't bother me. I accepted it, but that was like one of my questions. Who is this guy? Then there was all kinds of questions. Is that actually Vader because he has the dent in his head where fucking Vader did or something? And everybody was talking about. I wish they would have introduced something different. And at first, I didn't like the fact about Palpatine floating around like fucking Dr. Chenard in fucking Hellraiser 2 in the last. At first, I didn't like it. But now I'm gonna apply the same rules I apply to horror for something like this, because I always tell my wife, if you don't see the body, they're not dead. And I can't be a hypocrite and say that Palpatine, because the last time we saw him, and he is so powerful, he is just flying off into space. So the fact that someone like that can survive, I think I can be accepting of it and having to regain power. But whatever.
I'm sorry, I'm having heart palpitations.
Yeah. We knew where that joke was going the second you grabbed your fucking heart.
Yeah, I did.
Is that like in Monster Squad? Wolfman's got Chenards?
These are good jokes, actually. I think the Rogue One is the darkest of the darkest of all the movies that came out, because it's like practically a suicide mission. Well, it is a suicide mission, so everybody fucking dies. I remember my whole family being practically in tears at the end. I'm like, yeah, they actually made you care about these characters a little bit. And
let me
ask that's why I thought.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, go ahead, Christian. Finish first.
No, I was just gonna say that's why we had The Force Awakens, which I loved. We had Rogue One, which I loved even more, and then The Last Jedi came. I'm like, they fucked it up. And then Solo came, and it bombed in the theater because I think of the reception of The Last Jedi, and it was just too much Star Wars all at once. And that one's not a bad movie by any means. It's actually okay. But then Rise of Skywalker kind of brought it back on track. But upon rewatch, I was kind of just like I said, it was okay. And then The Mandalorian is like the best thing probably in the Star Wars universe.
Haven't seen it yet. For whatever reason, it doesn't excite me.
Enjoy.
But I will see it eventually.
What's the order to watch these in? Because I'm not going to rate them, because I have to really rewatch them. Are you going to go true, OG and then prequels, or would you go prequels leading into OG, leading into new trilogy? And where does Solo and Rogue One fit into the storyline? If you're going to watch all 11 films.
Solo would be after 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and New Hope would be part 4, and between New Hope, I'm sorry. Actually, it would be 1, 2, and 3, and then it would be Solo, and then it would be Rogue One. Correct?
Well, Rogue One, I would think, yeah.
Solo, Rogue One,
Rogue One obviously leads to New Hope, exactly.
And then New Hope. Okay, so that's how you would watch them.
No.
If you.
If I really want to get that. I wanted to watch them in 100% chronological order, yes. But and for years I did that when I introduced my daughter to them. That's how I did it. But looking back now, I think it's actually better to watch fucking 4, 5, and 6 first, see what happens, and then when you go back to the prequels like we did, you know what they're referencing. I think it's better that way to see the rise of Anakin and everything that happened, knowing who he becomes. You know what I mean? And I almost feel bad. I really think it should go 4, 5, 6, then prequel order of release. I think it's the best way to take them in.
I'll say one thing about the prequels of they fucked up by killing Darth Maul. Two things: The Force Awakens,
Agreed.
The Phantom Menace is the best one of those three, in my opinion. I actually don't like the other two as much, and I know I'm in the minority. I could get over the Jar Jar Binks factor. My two things with this movie is that pod race sequence, or that speed racer sequence. It's far too long. The movie stops dead for it, and that they kill off Darth Maul. Darth Maul should have been the villain through all three of the movies, like Darth Vader was. And they should have carried him through. That's the problem with the prequels. And I could get over Jar Jar, and I understand they reacted based on fan reaction. They stripped him back. But at the time, my second cousin was the proper age for that. He loved Jar Jar. He thought Jar Jar was great.
Oh,
if they kept Darth Maul alive, if they kept Darth Maul alive, they could have done the sequel, Phantom of the Maul.
Oh, awesome. That's great. They should have kept Maul alive, and they should have had fucking Anakin kill him in part when Emperor was like, okay, this is the guy I really want, and he's stronger, so I'm going to have to do a little betrayal here. That would have been cool to have fucking Anakin on his rampage. The first person he kills is fucking Darth Maul, and then fucking goes off. That would have been fucking brilliant. I would have loved that. I agree. He tried too hard. Yes. There's too much dialogue in Phantom Menace that goes over everybody's head. And I hate to say it, but that was my issue with the one that everybody loves, Rogue One. There was too much dialogue, and a lot of it went over my head. And I thought it was unnecessary. I think they could have trimmed fucking about 30% of the dialogue, and you would have got the same effect. I still enjoy Rogue One. I just don't fucking cup its balls and fucking blow it as deep as everybody seems
never hear anybody talk about Rogue One. Really?
Oh my! Everybody says. Everybody.
Oh, I guess. I mean, for me, it's Empire Strikes Back and then Rogue One. In my opinion, I love those two.
I mean, from the new ones, homie. I mean, from the new ones, not in. The Disney ones. I don't mean of all of them. No, of course not. Just basically since the prequels, they'll say those are the best ones. That's the best movie they've made since the prequel. Any of them is fucking Rogue One. But fucking, I enjoy them all. I enjoy them all. That's all.
Let's talk about Friday the 13th a bit more. Then I'll stay on the show just to piss Brandon off a little bit for 5 minutes more.
No, I was actually thinking, and I came up with an idea. I was thinking we should do next week's spoilers first before we even get into today's. This way you could start editing next week's show. Here's the reality of it. And I say this every time. We get a little bit of feedback here and there. The listeners know exactly what I'm talking about, and they would have not been against it. And they would be like, what the fuck are you two going on about? Guaranteed. Just like I win every fucking list, just like I win everything.
Every list? One list by one fucking guy.
He won this list because I recommended a movie for him, and he put it at his number 1 a week before the year-end show. This fucking guy.
Son of a bitch. I gotta talk about Fringe February. Well, we'll wait. I can't do it now. I'm in Fringe February. I watched that and a bunch of other ones. And oh well, that's okay.
So you want to start with the Vigil?
Yeah. Let's see fucking do whatever he wants to do. I don't give a fuck. I've conceded.
No, the Possession.
No, we're just doing the Vigil first.
Oh no, we're not. I want you to. I want the listener to experience exactly the show the way it's supposed to be. Then.
The way it's supposed to be? So, wait, with a different editor?
Yeah.
No, seriously, I honestly don't care either. I'm just teasing.
I don't either.
You want to do the Vigil first? I don't care.
No, we'll do the Possession.
I feel bad now. It doesn't matter to me.
Good. I'm glad. That's all that. Now I feel vindicated. That's it. Now the Possession we can do. I feel better now that you feel bad.
All right, we'll do the Possession first, because Christian wants to do it the way it's always been done. The Possession from 2012. A young girl buys an antique box at a yard sale, unaware that inside the collectible lives a malicious ancient spirit. I'll just stop it there.
There was more?
Yeah, there was another sentence that says the girl's father teams with his ex-wife to find a way to end the curse upon their child. But they don't team up. What are you talking about?
I will say, I missed this. I thought I saw this movie because at the time there's all these movies that came out with similar. I mean, you're gonna mock me for it, but I think there's the Apparition or whatever. Then there's the Possession, and there's probably one or two other ones that came out, and they kind of blended together for me at the time.
Three movies. The Apparition, The Possession, and one other movie, and you lost your fucking head.
Yeah, I lost my head. And so anyway, I didn't see this, and there is some good to great stuff here, but there's also some fucking ridiculousness that you can't overlook that I wish they just trimmed out. One of them is the fucking bobbing Jewish, no, I was going to say priest, but what would be I'm down with the sickness.
I want to make a video on it. Yes.
The bobbing priest. I'm like, what?
They do it in the Vigil too.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's rocking when you pray is it's
okay.
part of it. It's part of it.
I knew it.
Thanks, I feel like they would. I'm glad you cleared it up, but it visually looks ridiculous. Unfortunately, it takes away from the impact of that scene for me. Maybe it didn't for you because you know more about it and it's true to life. So I guess I'm critiquing something that just visually looks silly.
If you watch Jewish people pray, particularly in the Orthodox Hasidic community, there's always rocking involved with the praying. So it didn't take me out because I know that. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm Reform. Yeah. Well, they share a lot of similarities, the Muslim faith and the Jewish faith. You know, for as much as they hate each other, there's actually a lot of similarities in their faith. But yeah, so it didn't take me out of there. I feel like this is a good, again, another one that falls into that category of maybe introductory horror for people, for young.
Gateway horror, yeah.
Yeah, okay, a good PG-13. For me, what takes me out of this a little bit is some of the effects. But
the CG.
Some of the CG effects. But again, great characters. Really terrific character development here. Really a family that you really genuinely care about, and that's what engages you for the full 90 minutes and kept me on board. And this was my second time seeing it. I was a fan the first time. I'm a fan the second time. The one thing I forgot about or got confused with is I thought this had a different ending. In fact, but I'm confusing it with another movie. I'm not sure what the other movie is, but
The Apparition?
It could be. I don't know. I remember
The Possession of Michael King?
The Possession of Don King.
Only in America. Lucky 5.
Brandon, I agree. It's a well done movie. There's enough good here to recommend it, no question. I had a great time with it. Some of the missteps, there are some weird editing choices, but I was okay with it.
There's that one
scene. He's just talking on the phone, and it just fades out, and then they're just driving.
How about the scene where he says to the daughter, "Shut the door," after all the moths are in there, and she shuts the door, and it cuts to black for like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, there was a couple of transition sequences that almost like, did they not have a transition scene? So they're just using a fade out, which is old school. And I'm okay with it, but I noticed it in those two instances, the one you're mentioning, Brandon, and the other one that I mentioned, at least. I'm like, well, that was a really odd transition for a mainstream movie. But the look of the film, the acting, the way the progression of it is good. I like the yard sale situation. I like how it calls to her. There's her distorted face, or when her eye rolls back, it's really fucking creepy. And some of the possession stuff really does hit home and works. It's like they crank it up to 11 a couple of times, and that's where it falters a bit. And then the bobbing priest did make me laugh. And for bobbing padre, I'm saying this wrong. What would it be called? What would he be called? I'm sorry.
Bob. I guess a rabbi.
Rabbi.
I don't think he was a rabbi.
If he's a rabbi,
but yeah,
a junior rabbi. He
wasn't a rabbi. He
that was Modest Yahoo.
Yahoo Serious?
You don't know Modest Yahoo?
Yeah, I don't know anybody. No.
A rapper. He's a Jewish rapper. You've never heard of Modest Yahoo?
Well, that's what he was like.
Anything like after 2005 rap, I don't know.
I don't know when he was. I never really listened to him. No, Modest Yahoo. He was huge. I thought he was one of my favorite characters, Saduk. I thought he was great in it.
I will give you credit for a mainstream movie, and again, a PG-13 movie. What an ending. I mean, some people shouldn't thinking it was trying to set it up for a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought, what a great ending. I just was,
perfect.
With one exception, the phone call sounded really phoned in. No pun intended, but it sounded like they're like, "Hi, thank you for helping me. No problem, Damien or John. Thank you for good luck to you and your family." And then the big ending. I'm like, wow, that sounded really, really staged, which was weird. It was like those couple of moments with some of that bad editing, very, very few instances, but it's just like they did kind of pull me up. But it was the bobbing priest and the little CGI monster at the end that I thought they could have done something a little bit different, but it didn't destroy the movie by any means. It wasn't a deal breaker.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker, but seeing the evil is a little bit of like a misstep for me because I mean it's grounded in reality, the Dybbuk box and all that, the containment of evil. I would have liked a little bit more research into it. I would have loved if they went and saw the woman at the beginning and found out how she had the box. If she was still alive, they show her disfigured at the window when the other girls find the origin of this what was the spirit's name? Ozzy something? Ozzy Osbourne?
Osbourne?
Abizu. Oh
yeah, right.
Abizu. And just find a little bit more of the history of the Dybbuk box and all that and the evil within it. But instead he goes to that professor and that professor was like almost mocking him, like, now it's on to you to contain the evil. Like, what are you doing?
It was a joke. I thought he was,
right?
He was.
You're right. That's another. I thought he was kind of like making a joke of it.
He's like being a prick. Like,
he was.
Are you looking for the bathroom coach? What brings you to my class, you fucking illiterate prick?
Well, I think they're going to explore the origins in the Mike Flanagan directed sequel, The Possession, The Origin. And there'll be a lot of mummy mouth in it. Yeah, with Flanagan in it.
Sounds like another name. That's what I'm going to start calling dry mouth. I need a drink. I have mummy mouth.
It's weird. My experience with this movie, this is the second time I've seen it, and it was the exact same as the first time with it. And the weird thing is a lot of people really rate this movie kind of high, and they really like it. And this is what I can say. As I started watching this movie, I'm half an hour into it, 40 minutes, whatever. And you know how we do the deep dive thing on the WATZ. And we always try to figure out what we're going to talk about. So we'll kick ideas to each other. And they just happen naturally. One of us will come up with something, we'll communicate, and okay, that sounds good. This is what I wrote to Watson as I'm watching it. And I think, obviously, we're going to deep dive it on the next show, more than likely. But this is the experience I had with this movie the first time and this time. And this is what I said to him. Is it fair for us to not like a horror movie because we think the setup is basic? That's what's going on in my head right now as I'm watching this movie, which is fine, but I've seen something similar many times. And that seems to be my issue with this movie. And I don't know if I'm wrong for feeling that way, but it's just like, it's okay, somebody goes to a garage sale, buys a box, there's evil in the box, they take it home, here's the daughter, it possesses her, and off we go. And it just, I know maybe I sound weird when I'm saying it, but it just seems like I don't know. It's like I'm looking for something else, and I don't know if that's on me, if I'm being a picky viewer of films. But it just seems, that's my issue with it. That's why I think this movie is just good, and that's it. I don't see anything that sets it apart. I don't know why people rate it 4 stars on Letterboxd. I don't see what I'm missing out on, and it irks me because I want to love it. You know what? I want to see what other people are seeing as I'm watching, and I'm like, yeah, this movie's okay. It's fine. But it never takes me to that place.
I think it's because they didn't get into the Judaism and the whole religious aspect behind the evil like the Vigil does. They could have done it here. I mean, you don't find out about what this box is until, more than halfway through the movie.
Yeah, it really just becomes like a Exorcist ripoff in a sense. Like, you have seen it all before, but it's repackaged decently enough. But I agree, Brandon. We're missing the meat and potatoes here that would have probably elevated it to the level that you want it to be.
But
and I'm speaking for you now, Brandon. I apologize. I kind of just jumped in there, but I agree with you. I guess it's my excitement.
Yeah, speaking for me.
But I mean, and also for you, because I agree with in the sense of like that's what it's missing. It's missing the historical element to it.
Yeah.
Because you're right. The only time we get it is in a mock. It's almost like they didn't want to believe it.
I like the special effects scenes with the moths. I think it's very creepy. I like the subtle scenes, even though this one's not so subtle. The MRI scene, seeing the evil inside of her, terrifying.
Yes, I agree.
Really cool. And the scene when they're at the diner and he's talking to her, and she's like, "Can I get more fries?" And then she goes, "She's still hungry."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "That's awesome." I don't need the fingers in the back of the throat.
I actually like that.
I don't mind it, but I don't need it. I don't need the moths coming out of the throat. I don't need the fingers. I don't need that. Like, that's overkill. Give me more historical reference, especially since you're saying this is based on a true story. Obviously, if that's the case, you're dealing with somebody who went to the Orthodox community seeking help. Give me more research and history of it. I'm not saying a lot more, but.
So to get into that, and B, you said you may or you may not know. You said it's the Orthodox community. What is the difference between? I wrote this down. Let me look at the note. Hasidic versus Orthodox. What is the difference?
I believe the Hasidic community, it's a certain type of belief versus straight up Orthodox. I mean, a lot of times people just lump it all into one. Yeah.
Okay, because I've heard.
Is it possible to get your dad in here to tell us?
My dad will probably know less than I do.
Well, that's not the important part. I just didn't know if they carried on a different way or lived a different way completely or not. Because, my brother.
Oh, okay.
My brother worked at this grocery store for a long time, and he was in the. He wasn't in the grocery store. It was while he was going to school, and he was trying to eventually become a phys ed teacher.
Work in the grocery store if he's not in it.
Well, he's not. He's in the grocery store, but he's in like a child watching situation. Like you ever see at a grocery store they have those places where sometimes you could bring your kids there while they shop and watch them. Okay, so my brother was trying to become a teacher. He was going to school for it, and this was his job because he figured it would look good on his resume. So he worked with these children. They would come in and they play video games for a while, do whatever, and all kids love him, just like me. We get along well with children. We're that type of people. So anyway, he would tell me that there was the Orthodox Jews that came in were very and he's not the type of guy he's like me. He's not gonna just make shit up or insult a crew of people unless there's a reason for it. He says that a lot of them come in and they all like had their nose up at everybody around that wasn't like them, and like they didn't want their children to play with like the regular Caucasian children or the black children that were there. And on top of it, they would always leave a big mess, like with their food and everything. He goes, so these people come in, they leave a mess, and they turn their nose up, and they're very like egotistical, like they think they're better than everybody else that goes there. So that, again, I only know. They don't
think it, they believe it.
Okay,
it's true.
So they really are this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not portrayed this way in this movie, of course, but I thought maybe there was a difference. Like the Hasidic people were okay, but the Orthodox were like the real hardcore.
No, the Hasidics are the real hardcore. The Orthodox would be, you could see somebody wearing a yarmulke and, like slacks and a button-down shirt, and they could be Orthodox. If you see somebody wearing, the black robes, the big hats, the tallis with the payas, that's Hasidic.
Okay, and they are known to have that attitude, huh? They are snobbish.
Yes, and because they'll tell you, to basically interact with your own kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hearing it from you, I mean, that's not that I don't trust my brother. Of course I do, but that's more validation. I just wanted to know if you knew.
No, it's true. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that really is. So there's racism everywhere from all different sects of people, of course. I was just curious if there was a difference because when you said the word Orthodox, it always takes me to those people, which I don't really know any, and I always think of Hasidic are the ones that have that hair thing.
Yeah.
Again, what do I know? I only know what the television shows me. I didn't grow up with that around me really. So
what do I? Fox News.
But anyway, back to the movie. This is my thing. If this movie would have come out 25, 30 years ago, the exact same movie with these tropes that maybe at the time weren't there yet, would I have liked it more? And again, we're going to really get this into Watsy. But that at the end of the day, that seems to be my problem with it. It's very basic. You know what I do like? That one scene, even though it's CG, and you guys did mention it, when she's in the garage and mother's boyfriend's there, and then you see that it's a hand under her mouth and it pushes her eyeball back. That's cool. Like I even call my daughter and I go, Frankie, look at this. I go, now don't you think that would be better if this was done CG? I go, it's a good scene, but it's too bad it's obviously CG. If it was practical, that would have been a better scene. But I like the idea of having her eyeball literally pushed back from a hand that's like inside of her face and you see under her skin. I dig that. That's cool. Mm-hmm. There's a couple scenes I like. But here's a critique, and it probably completely went over my head. What the hell happened to the it was a great scene with the mother's boyfriend. His teeth come out and
his
all
teeth fall out. Nobody
it's done.
Nobody calls him to see if he's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a major critique. I thought maybe I missed
something. He drives off, and that's the last we hear or see of him. It's like the mom's like, well, she should have said, well, I can't date old no teethy over there or whatever. I mean, it was a great sequence, but then that was another fault of the movie. Yeah. There's no closure on that whatsoever. He's gone. Never to be heard of again.
That's lame.
At least have him drive off a cliff or something. Whee!
That would have been great. Yeah, his teeth go in his eyes so he can't see.
No, it'd even be better if he flies off. He looks in the rearview mirror. His teeth are all fine. He's like, huh, and then it just crashes and blows up.
Oh yes.
That actually would have been a cool scene.
Yes, it would have.
That would have been cool.
But he just drives off. Nothing. No, they never come. You should have had him at the end. I just here to pick up my stuff.
He should have been under a bridge giving out blowjobs.
I give good puff.
Oh, mamma mia!
That's that joke is based on a real story. It was. I'll derail us for 1 second. I was driving my buddy home. We're driving home one time, and there's this girl hitchhiking. And this is before marriage and all this. We're still dating, whatever. Not dating my wife, just in the dating phase or whatever.
Right.
And we're driving home, and this girl's hitchhiking. We're like, drive by. We're like, huh. Pull back. It's not something I've done. So pick up a hitchhiker. And that should have been my last time ever picking up anybody because, it was just horrible experience. In our heads, we're thinking Detroit Rock City, going, hey, this is how porno movies start. And when she gets in, she's like, yeah, I just got in a fight with my boyfriend's new girlfriend. Knocked all of her. I'm going to go back there. I'm going back there. I'm just going home to get my brass knuckles. I'm going back there. I'm going to pop all of her teeth out. If you want a girl that gives good puff, I'll give her number. And we're just like, oh, shit. Please get out of the car. And then we dropped her off. My buddy and I are just driving, and we're just looking at each other go, give good puff. That was the only thing we retained from that whole experience.
Who do you think gave her a ride back to the boyfriend's house?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Not us.
It was not us.
Give good puff, P-U-F or P-O-F, puff?
I guess puff is in P-U-F-F.
Puff the Magic Dragon? Wow.
I guess she's going to just knock it out. She'll be like, hop.
That's actually okay. No teeth to get in the way.
Exactly.
Boyfriend's new girlfriend. That's weird.
Ex-boyfriend, probably.
It was an ex, yeah.
Probably became an ex maybe that day.
Sounded like it happened right there, but she was going home to get something, and she was heading back, and we weren't going to be part of it anymore.
Give good puff. I want to get good puff as I'm actually puffing something. That'd be great, wouldn't it? A double puff. You're an Oreo double stuff. It's Dave Z double puff. A puff on a fucking joint while getting good puff. I love it. Okay. Okay. Here's what I like about this movie. The stuff about the father.
Okay.
Back to the movie. The father. What's going on? I think his ex-wife is treating him very unfairly. I mean, this guy has an opportunity to get a job as the head coach of fucking NC. And she's busting his balls. He's literally just hearing about this. And the stuff with the daughter just started a week or two ago. Obviously, the wheels were in motion before this girl started acting a fool. And she's busting his balls about it.
Acting a fool.
Quit
acting a fool,
you know what?
demon-possessed bitch.
But I think they were trying to hint at they're not done. Like she's moved on to this dentist, but they're not done.
Some dentist, he doesn't even have any teeth.
Good point.
And I think she was more mad at he was fucking up the situation that they could be fixing maybe something in their relationship. That's how I took it. Because at first I was like, well, she's being unreasonable, but I took that sort of 11 on the scale of unreasonable as
you took 11. Wow, I'm impressed. Yeah.
There you go. But I love that.
Did you puff it?
When the dad yelled back, stop messing with my kid's teeth or something like that.
Yep. Stay away from my daughter's teeth. Yeah.
Yeah. Stay away from my daughter's teeth. I thought that was a hilarious line.
Hey, did you think that one daughter, the older one, what's Hannah? It was Hannah and her sister.
Emily.
Hannah and her sisters?
Hannah does her sisters.
Woody Allen was in this?
How about Hannah does her sisters? You ever see that one?
Woody Allen was in that.
That one too, yeah.
Would he? Yes, he would.
So Hannah, that was her name. Don't you think she looked like a young Lindsay Lohan, or was it just me?
No, that's what I was like. This can't be. This
isn't line up. Just you.
No, I thought the same.
Okay, all right.
No, it was
drugged out.
No, it was just you two.
Just the two of us, nobody else.
And
I think
the two of us.
That one chick's a little old to have an imaginary friend. I think that would have been like, I mean, come on. Oh, only I could see him, but I can't even see him, and I talk to them. It isn't like she's fucking 4 or 5 years old. This girl's like what, 10 or something, 11. If that would have been my daughter, I don't know. It would have been a little more serious approach.
Well, he's pretty suspect at that point.
He's suspect, but an imaginary friend at that age, and she's acting fucking, eating all that fucking food that time, and it's like, slow down, remember?
And then she stabs him with a fork.
Yeah, and then she stabs him.
I'm sorry, Daddy. Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, if the dad was really cool with that, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be pissed.
Stick a fork in it, you're done.
Hey, didn't they do that in that one movie we reviewed, the Christmas Horror Story? Wasn't somebody eating a lot of food, eating fast, and the guy got in the way and stabbed him?
The black family, when the kid gets switched up with the gremlin. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing.
I don't think you can say black family anymore.
You can't say that.
Can.
I think you have to say darker than white. I think you have to say.
In fact, on the last episode of GGIF, I said, because I was talking to the American listeners, I said that, don't be offended by me using the term black, because that's that's the vernacular here in Canada.
Because we are very racist here in Canada, so don't be offended.
Not at all. And Preston DeFrancis said it's gone back in the States to that and not African American. I know what it's done. Why would I know what's happening in the States?
You know what it's done in the States? It's gone back to black.
Yep. I was just gonna go. And
I'm not trying. It's not a joke or whatever. I don't know, because it changes fucking daily there in the States. I just care about what's happening here.
I always say black. I always say black in my house with my black wife. I always say, I don't say African American. If I really want to get fancy in public, I'll say people of color. Well, that's the fancy term. That's the fucking the artistic fucking.
I won't even talk about bears anymore after my fiasco with colored bear.
This is true.
Come on, you thought he said colored bear.
Yes, I did. I
was like, what?
But he's allowed to do that. He's that's him.
I know, but all my notes for that.
He can say that.
Colored bear says this. Colored bear said that. And then you're like, it's cuddly bear. I'm like, Oh fuck, I am racist.
Colored bear.
You just didn't have subtitles. That's it.
No, I didn't have subtitles.
Anyway.
The thing is, I like the relationship thing with, but I felt for him because I thought she was being unfair to him, like saying all this other stuff. But at the same time, she's like, "Oh well, don't feed them this, don't do this, to get your emails off my computer." It was very fucking passive aggressive on her side, honestly. And now you're trying to say that she didn't really want him to leave. Well, maybe don't treat him like shit when the guy is obviously a good father, coming to the house, picking them up on time, doing everything he's supposed to do. He's a very loving guy, and she's fucking pushing him away. But then when push comes to shove, not literally, figuratively, and he was talking about going away to NC, then she changes her tune. So I had a little bit of an issue with her, and then of course I had a little bit of an issue with the end, how everything all of a sudden comes together just perfect.
And they're a happy family again?
Yeah, and the guy is never acknowledged again, the boyfriend. And there they are. One day later, hey, how's everything going? On the phone with that guy. Oh, everything's better than great with me and my family. You can keep my car. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You know what? I took that as you can keep it for now because he said, like, I'm not going anywhere, like he's staying for breakfast. Because it seemed very too good to be true because it was literally like the next morning.
I was like, you know what it was?
I have no clue if it was even the real actors. I think they just called someone in. We need a phone call to overdub to finish this fucking movie. And so they just called two people in and then did that phone call I talked about. Because you're right. It was so, listen to that phone call at the end. It's so bad. It's so, like, it feels like someone's reading off cue cards. Damn. But yes, so I agree with you guys. But the humdinger of the ending, the tag on part was great.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It is really good, and but it just misses a scene going back to the original house. They should have gone back and spoken to the woman and found out about what she knows about the box and what she knows about the origin of Abizu or whatever.
What if they had the scene in there and they cut it out for timing purposes? Because you're absolutely correct. Like they got the box. The box didn't just show up. They got it. He even says got it at a garage sale. First order of business, the next scene would have been them going back to the fucking house to talk to the son, to maybe be able to talk to the mom. It's missing from this movie.
You're really is, because all the artifacts in there, the tooth and all this, it's like, it's creepy imagery, and we never learn anything about it or about this demon. And, I don't know, a little bit of origins in there would have been cool. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Kira Sedgwick were great, and the daughters were great. It was a really really good family dynamic in this. So I think that really saves it for me, and just a good introductory horror for a possession film.
Yep. I was happy with it. I'm at a 7. I'm not like, I just think it was a good movie, and I could recommend this to people to check out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm right there with you. That's the exact same score I give it, and I think it's a really fair score, and it's a really good score.
Yeah. I'm 6.5. I want to be higher because there are things I like about it, but I just can't get over some of my complaints. There is one good scary scene that I didn't mention that I loved when she's saying, "Daddy, you scared me. Daddy, you scared me," over and over, and that laugh. That was fucking creepy. Yeah, that was creepy, done well. Man. Yes.
That was pretty cool. That the whole setup in the hospital, in the downstairs hospital, and the physical therapy room, and how he would use that with his players and stuff like that. So he knows about it, and it's closed. Yeah. So having that whole area was cool.
And I felt bad for him when his daughter said, "I hate you," and "Mom hates you," and all that stuff. Yeah. I did feel for him the entire story. That's one really good thing about it. But the rest of the stuff, it was too. I don't know. It was just too cliche and too been there, done that, and it was fine. I feel
like you're watching the Poltergeist at the end a little bit too. It's like The Exorcist meets the Poltergeist with the flashing lights, the hair blowing, like the wind kicking up. But there's a bit of nostalgia mixed in there with me that I appreciated that they did it, but it was very much like two major nods towards those films there. But then you've got the Bobbing Priest, which again, I feel bad. Like it's a silly visual, yet I'm glad to hear it's based in reality now.
Oh, absolutely.
That makes me accept it a bit more. Yeah.
After I saw it in the second movie, I kind of figured that it was a thing. So I was like, okay, but that might be it. But speaking of Poltergeist, I was going to say it earlier. Maybe that was a nod to Poltergeist too. Remember, he gives him his car at the end of the movie. The guy that helped him out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Take it. Both you and I won't be needing it in about another 10 seconds.
I'm sorry, I missed it. What did you guys say? I totally missed it.
Well, you said it was probably a throwback that he gave the guy the car to Poltergeist 2, because in Poltergeist 2 he gives the guy the car. And I'm like, yeah, they probably should have the line like, yeah, keep it. Neither you or I are going to need it in the next 10 seconds.
Hope he's got good insurance on this. She's like, yeah, I need a new car anyway. Fuck it, take it. You know? And one funny scene, unintentionally funny to me, one of my famous scenes, is when the guy is driving through the thing, the Orthodox community, and everybody's walking, and he's driving. And the Jewish guy looks at him and he goes, "What are you doing?"
Well, it must have been Saturday, and you don't drive on the Sabbath. You don't operate machinery or electricity on the Sabbath. You can't turn on lights. You can't use phones. Nothing like that. If you ever see on Saturdays, you'll see in the Jewish communities, you'll see everyone walking to temple.
I just thought it was a community where there wasn't supposed to be a car there. Oh, wow.
And the buildings had a bunch of ropes because they wouldn't use elevators, so they had to just shimmy up the side of the building with the rope. Damn it! We live on the 12th floor. Don't look down.
Yeah, Christian, it's called davening. D-O-V-E-N. Davening is the Jewish prayer with the rocking.
Daven.
Oh, daven.
Okay. But I also did like the scene. I know we've already rated, and we sometimes do this. We go back after. I did like the scene when did you open the box? Did you open the only question needing answer? Did you open the box? My daughter, and then they all backed up. Oh, whoops.
Goosebumps giveaway.
Two videos. Two videos just got smashed.
Uh-oh, don't do it. Okay. All right, party time.
What, see party time?
Well.
Now wait, before you do announcements, should we do the spoilers for the Vigil?
Oh man, I can't wait until everybody chimes in and says they knew exactly what I was talking about. Maybe I probably didn't explain myself properly, which is definitely a reoccurring thing on the show. So I will definitely say there could be that aspect. But
how would they know? They're not thinking from an editing standpoint. You think that they're thinking about that? Only people like you would be thinking about it from that standpoint. Of course, the listeners aren't. Oh well, he meant he was going to edit it later. Why would they think that?
That's true. That is true. I might be very wrong on this one.
I'm telling you.
I'm going to wear this clown mask for the rest of the show
now. Nice. That's the masked Marvel. He's always going to wear a mask from now on.
Yeah, that's it. That's going to be our new thing.
Yep.
Why do you have so many weird masks?
Right?
These are my Halloween things. I make the dummies for the displays and whatever.
Oh,
I have.
Oh.
A lot of clown ones. Yeah. And I don't call me crazy. I have a Jason mask because I'm a fan. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. And the wigs were for. I put the wig on the skeleton. I think it's funny to have a skeleton in a wig.
Yeah, it's cool. I can dig it. So what's this big announcement, B?
No, it's not major now. Well, I have giveaway. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm retiring. I'm cashing in my 401k and I'm retiring to Boca. I'm sorry. When the day comes when I stop podcasting or we stop podcasting, I will never use the R word. I just don't feel like it applies. I feel like I haven't earned enough money to say I'm going to retire from podcasting. I'm just going to stop doing it on the regular. That's just my little... We decided if you are the first to stop, that we're going to continue to go and use the name Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast. That's fine. I just still want my cut of the patron.
Yeah.
In retirement.
In a 401k.
In a 401k. In a CD. No, giveaway.
Giveaway.
And this is something I want to ask you. There was just some recent movie sales going on, and I picked up a copy of The Stand, Stephen King's The Stand. a copy of Cronenberg Shivers, and a copy of the hell was the other film I picked up? There was another one I picked up. 3 brand new films. Plus, I decided, because I've upgraded, I have the old 8-pack of Friday the 13th Blu-ray, the old Omen box set.
Oh, the tin set?
No, just the 8-pack. The eight movie Blu-ray. The the Omen, the cheaper box set, because I upgraded to the Scream Factory one, the one that has all of them except for Part 4, and an extra copy of The Hills Have Eyes Arrow edition. So I have like 6 movies, maybe even more to give away, and I want to ask you guys' opinions on how we should do it.
Send them to Dave and I.
I think I have.
These are for our patrons. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I have so many movies to give away. I could probably even come up with another 5 movies. I was thinking 3 winners. Should we? And maybe like 2 or 3 movies per.
Sorry, man.
I was just thinking like 3 movies per winner.
Or you have, like, if you have 9, why don't we just do 9? And then the first draw, we draw are we going to draw a patron name, or how are we going to do this?
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, they can get first pick. So if you got 9 things, why don't we do up to you? Or if you want 3 packs, 3 packs are good too. And they get the choice of 3 or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Or we could do like 5 winners and each one gets 2. That's why I'm throwing it out there.
One gets 2. Let's do that. 5 winners, each one gets 2. And then with the order we get the winners picked, then they get first choice of the 2.
Yeah, that's perfect, because I still have an extra copy of The Witch. I have extra copies of movies just lying around. I think I have an extra copy of Inside, maybe, on DVD. I got some decent movies, just extra copies laying around. I'm looking to clean house here. But I bought 3 brand new ones specifically for the giveaway were Shivers and The Stand, and I'm drawing a blank on the third one, but it'll come to me. It was another good one.
Well, since you're giving things away, can I have the composer sheet thing? The Stand?
That's actually my dad's.
Oh, well, then forget
my dad's the musician in the household.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he play? Hold on, hold on.
Harmonica.
Well, no, look what's behind the composer stand.
Oh, is that an organ?
Yeah, it's a keyboard covered up.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, he's a keyboardist. He knows how to play guitar, and he was the lead singer in a band.
He could play You should start covering some Doors songs. See if you can pick up some Rain Manzarek.
He played at my bar mitzvah.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he play? People Are Strange or no?
I forgot what he played. Oh, no, he was in a rock band as a kid. That's how he met my mom. He was in a rock band.
That is awesome. What was the band?
No, he was doing Sweet 16s. And they used to have them in these big halls where there'd be like 4 Sweet 16s going on at once.
He was 40 at the time.
And my dad was 40. My mom was 15.
16.
And he would play in like they would play in like big halls of like 4 Sweet 16s going on at once. And he saw my mom, and they got together.
That's awesome.
He was 17. She was 15.
Wow.
Yeah. The other movie was the Rob Zombie triple feature. Blu-ray.
Yeah, I got that one. It's great. My wife got that for me for Christmas.
So I got a ton of movies to give away. So I think 5 winners, and everyone can get like 2 movies. I'll make a huge stack of films. We'll do the drawing either the next show or the show after. Another announcement, and I know I don't like to spring it on to you guys on the show, but we will be having a special guest on the next show.
What? Another guest? So soon?
I know it's so soon, but it's a very special guest, and you're going to love her.
Thomas?
Him. It's Thomas and Dan Chase. They will be coming on and fighting.
Oh, man.
You can't say that!
Interesting. All right. We have some other special guests lined up for April and May, probably. Just one during each month. Which
what?
We've talked about it before, but I didn't nail it concretely with you guys yet. But I did with the other people I reached out to.
Is this the porn star?
No,
Anal
it's
Trisha?
not.
Are they community people or?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
And they do podcasts. So
Nice.
yes.
Oh shit. Well, my guest next week is also a community person and does podcasts, so I hope we didn't book the same person.
I don't
Not
give a
that it
shit.
matters.
I hope you did. It'll make it easier for me then. I don't think you would have though. Not these people. I don't think you would have.
Oh yeah, I don't like those people.
I don't know if you converse with them much. Is all I'm saying. So.
Is it Wazell? Is Wazell coming out of retirement?
Nope. You'll see.
Oh, I'm excited.
Well, I hope you stay that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we got
I'm
the
equally
guest.
excited.
The guest next week has never been on our show.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Interesting. Okay, well.
I wanted to tell you guys who it is, but I kind of want it to be a surprise.
Are you not going to tell us till that morning? Is it going to be?
I wasn't going to, but if you want me to tell you, I'll tell you.
I love surprises. So
All right, let's keep it a surprise. You're
You can
gonna
tell
love
us.
it. You're gonna
keep
love
it
it.
for me. Okay.
You're gonna love it.
All right. Wow. Shit, man.
I hate surprises.
It's not Jeremy, is it?
No, but it's somebody who
Me.
hates Christian.
Okay. All right. It narrows it down to about. I don't know.
Can you
7,
imagine if I got Marco or Levi?
No, they don't believe in podcasts in that
Oh,
group.
I saw that. I saw. But
I
fucking
want to
hate
know, how do you watch new movies, you fucking skunks? I will
They
only
don't. They want
buy.
Scoop TV.
Yeah, I'll buy it and then transfer it to VHS and then watch it.
Yeah, everyone else is doing the opposite.
Fucking mole people.
Mole people.
Scum of the earth.
Holy cow! I got nothing. I love everybody. I got.
You
nothing
should
bad
get a
to say.
VH copy of Herschel Gordon Lewis's "Scum of the Earth" and smash that as your next tape. And dedicate it. This is for you guys.
No, I'm only taking donations. I'm not going to buy. I'm not spending one more cent of my money on anything to smash. Fuck them. Like if you send them my way, I've got ones to smash, but I mean they're nothing like. There's a couple of commons. This is a VHS talk. I'm
sorry. I still can't get over that video that guy made over your epic, beautifully edited and made video of smashing the tape. That guy made, talking about shipping and stuff over you.
And they loved it.
And the response, "This is the best." That was fucking atrocious.
It's an inside joke. They were talking about someone else that they know that we know nothing of. That's what it is.
I still thought it was atrocious, and the guy was terrible.
Well, I mean, I actually gave him credit. I said, I don't get the joke, but I think it's funny what you've done. And it was the most creative out of any of the responses, by far. So I'll give him that. But yes, I don't get the full
farting noises. I was like, they're like, oh my god, I spit out my coffee. It was the most epic farting. Get the fuck.
Well, look who we're
doing.
Old people.
That's how people are. They get so carried away. Anytime if they're on the side of something, even if it's like moderately funny, they'll pretend like it's hysterically funny just because it's something that they're aligning with. And I can't stand that type of behavior. Back in the day with the Buffalo Bills. Like there was a commercial once when the Bills were starting to get popular in like the late 80s, early 90s. There was a commercial. And it was a 1-800-COLLECT commercial or call AT&T. Remember those commercials they used to have? Either way. There was a commercial in Bruce Smith, the Buffalo Bill. There was an x-ray being done. And something happened. And the punchline was that he got so mad that he took a phone and he jammed it down someone's throat because they were looking at an x-ray. And inside the x-ray of someone that made Bruce Smith mad, there was a telephone. Like, you know what I mean? The receiver part inside the x-ray when they were looking at it. Just to, that's the pun that I forgot exactly what it was, but I guess he got mad because they didn't use 1-800-COLLECT or something. So anyway, that commercial came on during a Sunday night Bills game when I was at somebody's house. And I was a kid, my brother and our friends. And all the adults in that room, when that joke was revealed because it was a Buffalo Bill in a national commercial, their reaction to that was like they were watching the fucking funniest thing they've ever seen in their life. They're like, oh my God. Like if it would have been Lawrence Taylor in the same commercial, they would have just not cared. They would have been like, oh yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because it was a Buffalo Bill, to them it was the funniest fucking thing. They were just thinking Keebler. They were just thinking it's fucking,
Keebler.
like they're big
like an elf.
It is like an elf. It's a phrase that my brother and I and a few of our friends use. It's called Keebler. It's basically when there used to be a commercial, and in the commercial, this guy is interviewing the Keebler elf. He goes, Keebler, could you tell us about this? And he answered the question. So basically, Keebler is a moment where somebody is like so proud or something's happening that they could picture somebody like holding a mic to them saying, Keebler, how do you feel right now?
Isn't that from Psycho? Keebler!
Oh, shit. Anyway,
well,
it's one of those things. People
think it's fun. You're right. None of them found it funny. There was a couple of unspoken people in there, but it's fine. I'm out. So the war is on you guys. It's on Brandon, who's been in the group for 3 years and didn't even know. It's on Dave, and it's on everybody that joined the group to see it.
I am 100%. Huh?
I didn't know what you were saying there. You're like doing all these like little movements to me. I didn't know if
he's
was off mic.
He's davening.
I am saying I'm doing it for myself. I'm piecing. Yeah. I'm saying no. I'm saying I will not. No. I am not doing it. There's no war. I'm not fighting with anyone. I refuse. I refuse to bring any negative energy into the world. That's my way now. I will not. So, and I will not participate in anything that's negative energy. So I no longer care. I'm not making a video. I'm not smashing a video. I'm over it. I'm done. The video I made yesterday.
I wanted to, but then Carly was gonna get mad. So now she's like, I feel bad because I still want to do one more. Not that I wasn't gonna post it other than YouTube. That's where it just should have been. It should have just been for YouTube,
of Carly's
and it should have been for us.
Get a copy of his and hers on VHS and fucking smash it.
No, matter of fact, I'm going to message Carly later, show her a picture of what I was going to sell, and say, if you want him, I'm just going to give it to him as a show of good faith. By the way, I will say this. The other day, I went into a thrift shop. Finally, I was at work, and I was in an area I'm never in. So I went into a thrift shop. I was excited, and I walked in, and they probably had about 200 VHSs. And I looked through all of them and walked out of there with nothing. And the worst part is I could have bought, check it, 24 VHS for $1. $1 for 24 VHS, and I didn't grab any.
That's it. That's an odd sale. 24 for $1.
That's what it was. See, the woman even pushed it on me because I was looking at one. Did you see how much these are? I said, oh. I go, how much if not? She goes, 25 cents. I said, so I can get 4 for $1 or 24 for $1.
That is the worst marketing strategy ever.
They really want to get rid of them. And that's what the guy was arguing with me about supply and demand. Right. And he's trying to tell me about the rules of supply. Again, I conceded. I go, they think that everybody wants, if this guy's over here posting 8 copies of Nail Gun Massacre, obviously the demand, I don't think, is outweighing the supply. There's probably less than 100,000 people that collect VHS this way. I venture to say that every single day you can go on eBay and see a new copy of a VHS being listed that anybody can have at.
Yeah.
So they're wrong about that. If people,
was there anything decent at the thrift store?
There was like a Boris Karloff movie. There was Tales from the Crypt from 1972. There was like 3 that I had in my hand and I thought about getting just to sell them. And I said, no. I said, I don't think people, I looked on eBay, they were like $6 a pop. I said, it's not worth it for me. It's not, I'm not going to, if I were to sell something to sell for $20, $30, yes. But, you know.
Yeah,
I grabbed a couple. But
I looked up that movie I had, Blackout, and people are selling it for like $29, $30 on eBay.
Sell it then.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done because I tried with one of mine that was same sort of thing, and I got no bites on eBay whatsoever. So then that was going to be the next one to smash.
No. Don't go on eBay.
It was going to be.
Go on one of those groups and put it up and say $15 PayPal. You'll sell it.
Yeah. I'm not shipping to the States. I'm not shipping to the States, so
that's true. That's an issue. Yeah.
I'll meet you at the wall. Just throw it over.
This is what people don't realize about eBay. When they see something and they say it sells for this much on eBay, because I go on there now and I type in Nail Gun Massacre and it says $80. Just because somebody's selling it for that doesn't mean anything. The key to eBay is to go there and go to the options and go to completed listings. Yeah. When you look at completed listings, that's truly what the value is. Anybody can put anything up there for any amount of money they want. Just because someone's selling it for $80 doesn't mean that it's $80 on eBay. It means that somebody would put it up there. You got to look at completed listings if you want to get anything accurate.
True.
You know? But anyway, do we have time for Fango, or should we go right into the movie?
No, I get 10 minutes for Fango tops, and then we should get into the movie.
All right, so check it out. Fangoria, episode. Issue.
Here he goes.
Issue number 2.
I thought it was 2. Yeah.
I am going to go in order from now on, each show from beginning to end. I have about 30 of them now. So I'm not going to collect anymore until maybe April. I'll buy one or something. But I went a little bit hog wild in the beginning, but this is fun. So Fangoria, issue number 2 was put out October 1979. And I'm going to go into it a little bit. I'm going to go into the opening paragraph written by Bob Martin. It's a little thing here, but it's interesting to look back at this. And this is what he says on page 1. Before the release of Fangoria number 1, a chain of events far beyond our control and so horrible as to be unfit for public description caused an extended delay in publication, as well as our change of name from Fantastica to Fangoria. During the months of delay, O'Quinn Studios received a mountain of mail inquiring about the postponed arrival of subscription and newsstand copies. Because of the sheer volume, these letters had to remain unanswered, except in the pages of Starlog. We hereby offer our sincere apologies to all concerned and our assurance that Fangoria will continue making its regularly scheduled bi-monthly appearance in the future. So, how about that? Fantastica was the original title.
And what they had to change it because of Cinema Fantastique, or there was another one that was a similar name, but that's weird because I don't know why they would have had to change that.
I don't know the reason. So then he goes on to say this. Filmmaker George Romero recently gave a talk before the National Association of Theater Owners in which he criticized the Motion Picture Association of America's system of rating theatrical films. Romero's basic objection is that under the current rating system, films like his own Dawn of the Dead, which was not submitted for a rating because of Romero's certainty it would receive an X, are being unfairly classified with films given the same ratings for reasons of sexual content. Theater owners and filmgoers can see an X rating as a sign that a film contains obscene language and portrays sexual activity. In fact, films like Romero's Dawn are often totally without sexual content, but are subject to the same problems of distribution as outright pornography. Romero has proposed that a new category be established for films that are objectionable for children, but without sexual content. Dawn's distributor, United Artists, recently echoed Romero's suggestion when they appealed the X rating recently given to the Italian film Arabian Nights. The appeal failed, but the campaign for rating reform can be expected to continue. This is where it gets more interesting. If reform to come, there is a further drawback to the current rating system that none of its critics have mentioned. That is the wide gap between the PG rating, which allows admittance of every age group, and the R rating, which discriminates equally between the 5-year-old child and the teenage film fan. Under the present system, a younger teenager must persuade his parents to accompany him to a film that they would rather not see themselves. If the rating board decides that the sight of stage blood is too frightening for a 5-year-old, the 15-year-old is effectively barred from the theater. Teens are old enough to distinguish fantasy from reality. Movies like Phantasm and Alien are essentially old-fashioned monster fare, the sort that past generations have been able to enjoy on Saturday afternoons without interruption from any regulatory agency. If the current severe restrictions on the Saturday matinee trade has been established in the 50s, many films now thought of as classics, particularly Hammer Films' Dracula series, might never have been made. It's unlikely that a rating system will be devised to correct this situation. Teenagers are seldom concerned with a deprived minority, but it would be refreshing to see the rating board acknowledge the rights of adolescents with a system that takes into account their relative maturity.
Flash forward 4 or 5 years, and Steven Spielberg had the power enough to then get PG-13, which didn't really help the situation much. It may have saved a few movies from getting an R rating that deserved that, but it didn't really solve that. And then when NC-17 came about, it just looked like a repackaged X. So it didn't really help either. See, here in Canada, we just had R, which meant you couldn't see it under 18. Under 18. It was restricted to us, restricted to over 18s. That's it. So we didn't have the option unless we snuck into the theater. I've mentioned it on here before. That was it. Or you had to be 18.
Don't you have PG-14?
And we had AA, which was adult accompaniment, which was 14 or older. 14, if you're under 14, you had to be accompanied by an adult, which I guess would have been like PG-13 for you guys. But it did help bridge that gap.
But it's something else.
This has all changed since, because it's now 14A and this, that, and the other thing. But at the time, it was AA, and then, like I said, like Nightmare 4, Halloween 4, Child's Play, you know, a lot of those ones got the AA rating instead of R. So
it's something
that helps.
Does that mean alcoholics get in for free?
Yeah. I love this movie.
Child's Play 4, please. 2.
It's sad though, because what Romero was saying was right. These are movies that should not get an X because of gore. You know, I mean, that's ridiculous to associate that. That's people think X-rated, they think pornography. It's as simple as that. That's what it's always been. It's an X-rated movie. So their solution was PG-13, which you're right. It was because of Spielberg. It was because of scenes that were shown in Raiders of the Lost Ark, the second one, and the Temple of Doom, and Gremlins. Because of those movies, that pushed forward. Okay, these are too scary for young children, so let's not let them in, or something like that. And they did it. So they had decent intentions to separate a 5-year-old from a 15-year-old. I get that, but meanwhile, it didn't make a difference. Like it's true. Phantasm and Alien, they're not really bad movies. I mean, even if they were uncut and they had gore, there's no sex, there's nothing going. I mean, okay, there is a titty scene, but no different than you'd see in a slasher movie. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I don't know. It's unfortunate because back then they had no home theater. At least when the 80s came, you could get the unrated stuff. But again, that's not making the filmmakers any money. The filmmakers made their money at the theater. Yeah. That's their bread and butter. So again, I found that interesting to see in this issue number 2. I know that it's going to grow into something else, and I can't wait to get issue. I'm getting better. At least I'm correcting it right after.
No, you're mixing it up. You're going to episode for the magazines, and you're calling the shows issues at one point. It's hilarious. See? It's hilarious.
But I can't wait to get my hands on issues 8 to 13. Well, I have 13, but like 8 to 15. That's that whole crescendo of everything that's going on with Cisco and Ebert in the beginning with the letters and what it led to. And we'll get there eventually when I get those magazines. But it's pretty cool to see this develop. And there he goes. Okay, so here's some really interesting mails here. Okay, the Postal Zone. This is crazy. No fish story. I have heard that Jaws 3 is to be a cosmic spoof of the first 2 films, while I have also heard that it is going to be a gory prequel to Jaws. Which is it to be? Mike from Chesterfield. And this is the answer.
Chesterfield.
Mike from the couch. Get off the couch, Mike.
Amazing. Oh, and this is their answer. Check this. The third film will carry the full title, National Lampoon's Jaws 3, People Nothing. Maddie Simmons,
I remember that one. Yeah.
The producer of Animal House is co-producing with Zanuck and Brown, the producers of the first 2 Jaws films. But wait, it never happened. Jaws 3 People Nothing.
Yeah.
What?
That's a funny title, though. It was supposed to be a comic take, but then they went with something even stupider. Like, don't get me wrong,
Right.
I like Jaws 3 for the 3D. And the idea is interesting. It's just such a shoddy movie. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Jaws
That
3
is
People's.
That was something that was put out, and they taught. I looked up an article on it, and it's true. The idea was hatched. Why not do something different, a spoof? And Jaws 3 People Zero was born. And after the success of Airplane and Animal House, the people that came in, and John Hughes was actually involved to write the script along with some other people. They wanted to rip off Jaws, and Joe Dante, fresh off fucking Piranha, was going to direct it. So they really came close. It was a bizarre script, everything else. They're trying to make this Jaws sequel, and, you know, ultimately it didn't happen, though. But Jaws 3 People Zero never happened, of course. Zanuck and Brown decided it was a bad idea, maybe because it spoofed Hollywood too much or because it was too bold. So it didn't happen. But they were this close. All these hires were made, and they were really going to make that. I think it would have been better off if they did, compared to what we saw with Jaws 3 and Jaws 4, right?
Yeah, which were comical in the unintentional way.
Right. You know what I think happened because of Jaws 3? Amityville 3D came out and Friday 3D came out. And, you know, some producer with a cigar, you know what? Let's make a Jaws 3D. That's selling to the kids, you know? I bet that's what happened. It was the 3D gimmick.
It was the same guy who. It was the same guy who gave the cigar to the Jaws in the. Like, what do you think, Jaws?
Oh shit. Okay, 2 more quickies. Alien, missing something. Here, you'll find this interesting. See, I would like to know if Alien is being shown intact in the United States. Apparently, the version in Canada is without the scene where crewman Ripley stumbles across her alien's nest and finds the living remains of her crewmates. Tony from Toronto, Canada. Okay.
You know him?
Yep.
Do you know Tony?
Tony and I are tight.
Tony Grady.
Tony from Toronto.
You know Tony Grady? No? No Grady? Okay. All right.
No.
Okay.
Let me look him up.
This is the answer. Yeah, do
Is he a twin?
Nice. Good one. This is their answer. We assume that you discovered the missing scene the same way we did, Tony. In Alan Dean Foster's novelization of the film, we checked with Mr. Foster, interrupting him as he completed his novelization of Disney's The Black Hole. He says the scene was in the shooting script. When he inquired about the scene's absence, executive producer Ronald Shusett informed him that the scene, though filmed, was deleted because it interfered with the pace of Alien's other closing scenes. So question, has this scene ever resurfaced with all the Alien versions we have now? Aren't there like 3 available? Can anyone recall seeing her finding the alien's nest and finding the living remains of her crewmates?
I thought that is in the movie, but I could maybe be confusing it with
Part 2?
Aliens. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a... Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Somebody weigh in if they know anything.
I could be confusing it with Aliens 3, Humans 0.
What was his name again? Tony Grady?
Yep, Tony
There's
Grady.
There's a Tony Grady that now lives in Peterborough.
Oh.
Which is like... it's about like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Toronto.
Oh, I bet that's him. Wow.
Let's get him on the show.
Yep.
It wasn't
Shut
me.
Up.
Okay, do you mind getting off the show, Tony? We get him on. He says it wasn't him, and he's off the show.
Let's get the guy who's on his couch on the show.
Is Chesterfield?
Yeah, the guy on his Chesterfield.
The other caller. We'll get him. The other writer, I mean.
The other caller.
This guy looks like he's too young. Maybe I'm wrong.
Who knows? 1979. Hard to say. Who knows?
Even if he's like 13 and then, so he'd be like 50, 54, 55 now.
Yep. We can get him on and then we can tell him, shut up, Grady. Remember that scene in Nightmare 2? Okay, one more. Rot Spot. This is funny, and I found it, and I'm gonna play it. A couple of years ago, a product called Armor All Protectant was advertised in a commercial that featured a rot monster. I heard rumors that it was taken off the air because it was too hideous and that Jim Danforth had worked on it. I really loved this creature. Rob Martin, San Diego. This is their answer. We were kind of fond of the corrupted critter ourselves. We checked with the Chickering Howl, the LA ad firm that developed the campaign, and learned that the commercial was forced off the air by a small but vocal group of viewers. Later, an edited version was widely shown, and the campaign is regarded as a successful one by both the film and their client. And yes, Jim Danforth was the creator of the Rot Monster. They took a commercial off the air because it was too scary, apparently. And I found it. Check it out.
Is it scary?
Imagine beneath the surface in the underworld of vinyl, plastic, rubber, leather, wood, a battle rages against rock.
Oh, that is scary.
It penetrates surfaces, shields against rot. Win the battle against rot with Armor All Protectant.
I can see kids thinking that's in their rug. They'd be fucking terrified.
Makes your world less rotten. Isn't that funny? That's the jingle. Armor all, makes your world less rotten.
We need that now. You should spray the whole states with it.
We don't have the time. Some stuff about Phantasm I found interesting, and some other things, but that'll be next show. But lots to be found in these Fangos. I mean, I'm reading them freaking cover to cover. There's 66 pages in this one. I've only read like 30 of them, and even though there's a couple fantasy things in there, I skipped those parts, but, great stuff. Okay. The long-awaited discussion on the Vigil.
Spoilers first.
What do you mean? Didn't we do this already?
Yeah, the first half of the show. You're right, beginning.
I choked 2 of these.
Sorry, I'm just fixing my mic here.
Oh, that's okay.
Faster.
All right. Here we go. Our feature review, The Vigil. Written and directed by Keith Thomas. A man providing overnight watch to a deceased member of his former Orthodox Jewish community finds himself opposite a malevolent entity. And this is Keith Thomas's electrifying feature debut.
Electrify.
It's not that it got shelved for 2 years. This is not a movie that feels like it needed to be shelved for 2 years. Because it says 2019 on everything that I've seen.
Yeah, it was made in 2019.
So it's unfortunate because this is a very well-made film. And the fact that I found out now that it's his debut film, that makes me, like it's kind of like when we're talking about Saint Maud. Does it make me like it more? Maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but I appreciate it more because of that. And what you wrote, Brandon, in a text last night, that he supposedly
I was wrong about that. I thought he had left his Hasidic community. I think somebody associated with the film. I know one of the producers is a rabbi. He studied in a rabbinical school, this director. I could have sworn I read somewhere that somebody was in the Hasidic community and left. And that's why this film was so personal, because you do become sort of shunned and outcast if you do leave the community. Hence the opening scene of this film, where you're basically seeing almost like a group therapy session where they're all talking and discussing about the hardships of adjusting to life outside of the community.
And
now, was it outside of the community, or was it about loss? Because it's like, to me, there was two things going on here. It's personal because of that being ostracized or being outside the community. But was that a support group just on that, or was it a support group on loss? Because he was also dealing with that matter as well. The main character in this case, not the director.
The main character, Yakov. I felt like it was sort of like checking in, just seeing how like how they're coping sort of outside the community in their new sort of situation, because they're talking about how tough it is to adjust. The female, she's talking about being hit on and stuff like that, and and what it's like just sort of existing in the real world, unfortunately. And
they're all Jewish people, so I think that's what it is. And I don't think this is spoiler, but one thing I wish they would have said why, because they're having this discussion and they're all struggling a little bit for different reasons, and then one of them says, "We left and we're moving forward now."
Yeah.
Right? And they're all speaking the same language, which I'm guessing is Hebrew, no? Or is it Yiddish?
Yiddish. I don't know it's Yiddish they're speaking, I think.
Okay. I don't even know what the difference is. I just know I've heard both terms thrown around before. Yeah. Okay, so they're speaking Yiddish. Now, but they never at any time in this movie say, like, the reason. Like, I could see why he might have an issue with what we learn with him later or something, and maybe he could blame some people around him, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but people, when they suffer a loss, sometimes will do something like that. But it almost looks like it's like people that left a cult. That's what it reminds me of. But they never really portray it that way. You have like 6 or 7 people saying, well, we left and we're moving forward. But they never said why all these people around the same age decided to leave. And I wish there would have been a little more time spent on that, so we get some context.
Yeah, they didn't really talk enough to the other people, but I mean, we learn with Yakov, it's probably more about losing one's faith, or wanting to get away from that lifestyle. But
it takes place in one location for the most part. We have that opening scene, the transition scene, and then we're in that house for the duration of the film. And the director makes it work. Like, he makes it work. There's some great lighting. The soundtrack, sound design is impeccable, and it's great. And it gets under your skin, and it's not a Rob soundtrack, which is also great. I'm just saying it's different. It's like sounds and music cues that like are really like, and they really just kind of scare you. It's really unsettling. Really well done. And
at the beginning, it's that gasping sound. It's that
yes. Yeah.
Like, and then it picks up at different times, and at the end, when it sort of gets into its third act, like where he's getting ready, to do battle, it sort of picks up into almost like a synth sound, and it becomes really, really cool. But and I thought the lead actor was terrific.
Well, he has to carry the film.
Yeah,
he's in every shot. He's in every scene of the movie.
Yeah,
and he was great for. They did a great job, and they do a great job of not putting it 100% in Yiddish. It was Yiddish, right? And then they would sort of jump between subtitles and then in English spoken. And then there's not a lot of dialogue for the bulk of the film because it's really him in the house. And so, but it's very well done. I never felt like anything needed to be trimmed out of it, like which seems to be my go-to comment in the last few episodes of certain movies. I felt it was 90 minutes, well-paced, well-designed. I'm not saying I don't have any questions, but I think the questions will have to be put into the spoiler realm of the discussion because of what we're going to be talking about and the end goal of everything and what we're getting to. But ultimately, I mean, you brought it up in the premise, but he is convinced based on the fact that he has no money that he tries to barter. He's offered 200, which he tries to barter up to 500 to watch over a body, which I'm assuming is a Jewish tradition that the body cannot be unwatched before it's removed from the house.
In the Orthodox community, it's a shomer. And
man, I cannot believe after watching this movie, even in the beginning when I find out, actually now that Brandon's confirmed it. That was my question. Is this something that's really done? Obviously it is.
Yeah.
So they had these Schweimers. I cannot believe that it took 2000, that it took all this time to make a movie, a horror movie specifically.
Yeah.
This is a premise that screams, how has there never been a movie? It's a situation where somebody is standing or sitting next to a dead body overnight, and it's never been addressed in a horror movie before.
You are literally saying word for word what the director of this has said in interviews. How has this not been done 100 times before?
It almost writes itself.
Yeah.
You have that set up right there.
Yeah.
A person standing next to
very true.
All night. What the hell? Wow.
Yeah. And I think it's such a great setup for a demon type film because of the fact that, we have him sitting vigil for a Holocaust survivor we get a flashback scene at the beginning, and then we get, of course, flashbacks of what he's dealing with his brother.
And his loss. Yeah, exactly.
And his loss.
And his inaction.
Yeah.
No, and we get some scares that I will say are reminiscent of other movies that have done them in a different way, but because this movie at least shifts them, shifts the direction, I guess, of them differently, that they're presented to you freshly, which I also appreciated. And I'm being, again, cryptic, I'm dancing around it, but ultimately one has them thinking that someone is going in one direction only to be revealed to be elsewhere, and I think it happens twice in the film where there's something. I think it's back to back almost, and they're both effective scares.
Yeah, there's some pretty effective scares. I had very little issue, with any of the effects in this, because I think they give you such great background. Anything that people find confusing, I think you guys will have some questions about certain things when he's gearing up at the end, about what certain things were.
Those straps? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I happen to know what it is because I've done it before.
Good. Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah, I've done it. I did it right after my mom died. Like the Hasidic, the Orthodox Jews would come around the house, console us and ask if we want to do tefillin. It's called tefillin. And those are prayer boxes. One's wrapped around the arm opposite your heart, so it's your right arm, and one is wrapped around your head, and they have Jewish prayers in there.
Wow, I was hoping you knew. Okay.
Yeah, it's called tefillin.
And again, they don't explain. The cool thing about this, and again, it's cool because now, Brandon, we have you to help us to fill in the blanks for us. But they don't fill in the blanks, which is actually fantastic. But you could be lost then if you don't, like, it allows you then to have to look this up, or to hope that you host a podcast with someone that is Jewish that then can answer the questions for you. So we've got that luxury, because it is great, because I just assumed I was going to learn or be answered these questions today talking with you. So I'm glad.
It's weird, because I thought the demon was going to be a dibuk, like in Possession, right. but they went with this Masik, which I had never heard of. This Masik demon with the head turning around, and I tried to look it up, and I'm sure there's stuff on there, but from what I read, there's not a lot about it. But it's apparently talked about in the Orthodox community. Like sort of like a warning to look out for that type of demon and stuff.
At least it's not a thing. Yeah, very creepy is right. At least it's not a golem. The golem thing's been done too many times now.
Yeah. And I love the original Golem. I even liked the remake, and I've seen it done in TV shows.
Right.
Also, and you're right. It's been done.
Yeah.
This is something completely new.
This was very fresh. Like I comment from a technical standpoint, beautifully done sound design, editing, the cinematography within the house. I mean, they just got some great lighting, great shots. The house itself is kind of creepy. The acting is spot on. From a technical standpoint, you really have nothing to complain about. I've read a few initial reviews saying that this was slow. Yeah, it's on the slower side, but it's not.
It better be slow. It's gonna work.
Yeah, it built, and that's what you want, a slow, quote unquote, slow burn. But I didn't find it slow like the Black Coat's Daughter style, where it's very like leisurely paced in a sense to get there. I thought this one still had things going on, so I never once was bored or saying, "Oh, this is taking too long to go," or to get going. Not once. So I take onus with that. It's a Blumhouse film. I'm surprised, like I said, when we opened this, that they shelved it for 2 years. I made a joke because it's not Lipschitz, but it's Lufschitz, was a producer. So Dr. Lupschitz was a producer on this, and I thought that was hilarious. And then, of course, you got Jason Blum and Ryan Turek and the usual suspects at Blumhouse. But they should be very proud of this one. It's more effective than some of their bigger releases. Like,
I agree.
Well, for me, it was anyway. Yeah.
I agree. This one's a standout for me.
Yeah.
And like you said, pretty much carried on a sole performance by him. The actress who played Mrs. Litvak, who passed away last year,
Oh, really?
She was terrific as well. Yeah, I looked her up because I've seen her in so many things, and she died last year. But
now, how old was she? Was she old enough to have been a survivor of the Holocaust? Like, as I'm watching this movie, I'm thinking about that. Although they said he was in his 90s, didn't they? The gentleman that passed?
Yeah.
Okay, that's obviously enough time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's in his 90s, yeah, if he's, well, they said something like, and they don't really specifically tell you what time frame this is set in, so you could easily just take 10 years off of this if you wanted to.
Well, the smartphone's kind of.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're FaceTiming. True.
Yeah.
True, but if he's in his 90s, because they say something about, they talk about 1919, he saw his grandparents killed. So if he's a little kid in 1919, if he's like 5, 6 years old,
he's over 100.
Yeah, he'd be 100.
Yeah.
It's possible to live.
Something about him being 98, though. I could be wrong. I think that's what they said. He passed away at the age of 98.
Okay, so
they would have done the math. They're going to do the math.
Sure.
They know there's going to be assholes that are going to be fact checking all these the age of the, like, they know that that's going to happen. So character development 101. If you don't cover that aspect, when you're putting a historical element into the movie, you're off to a bad start. I didn't even question it, but you're right to question it or bring it up. I would assume that was. Like, maybe I'm just taking the easy way.
Actually,
maybe you have to be at least 75 to have been there for the Holocaust at this point. Born 75 years ago, so you had better be, unless you're a child there. But I mean,
well, he looked like he was about 20 in the flashback.
Right.
So figure, in the 40s. Figure he's born in 1920. He'd be close to 100, 98 years old.
Right.
So that makes sense.
But would it make sense with her? Was she the same age? Did they say?
I don't. In real life, she was 86 when she died, but she does. They make her look older in this. She's obviously, they talk about her dealing with dementia, but also, do they say she was in the Holocaust or that her husband was a Holocaust survivor?
I could be wrong.
It was a husband.
I think it's just the husband. Because
and they don't all meet at Sweet 16s, Dave.
You know what's crazy is
he was not a player with an.
I don't think she was there because they kind of talk about. She talks about the husband. She talks about what his life could have been and stuff like that. I like the line to Yakov about the memories when he starts first having these strange memories and strange things happening, and she says to him, "They're not your memories."
Right.
And then when she talks about her children and how her children thought that they left on their own, but she really pushed them away. Obviously, she drove them,
and figuratively, I think.
Yeah,
she drove them away.
And obviously, she would because of what the husband was dealing with, and it's sort of like, it's really well done.
It definitely. No, I don't think this is a spoiler, but my question is this: and if it is spoiler, well, we'll wait till after. But why do you think when they brought him in, she said, no, he's not the Schwimmer, he has to leave? Why would he not be good enough to do that job? She said, I thought you were getting a Schwimmer. She goes, I am, this is him. She goes, no, he's got to go. You would think later on when things are uncovered that there would be some type of reveal as to, like, she knew something, like maybe it would be bad for him to be there. But to her, he was just a stranger. So once again, I think there's something that there are, and believe me, I'm not critiquing the film as a whole. Yeah. I'm just taking a couple things and I'm saying, I think it would have been better served to have
innocence. Maybe I know what you're saying. Like, I remember her questioning it and everything.
But it's not going to work unless he has baggage. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. I think she doesn't want him because she senses his pain, and she doesn't want him to be a victim of the massacre.
I guess.
That's how I see. She sees his lack of faith, maybe, and sees his pain and agony, and is
she said it right away. As soon as the guy walks in her door, how would she know? You know what I mean? They come right in. I'm not critiquing it. It's just a question that I thought. I think it would have been better served to be addressed a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is my type of movie. You guys know that it's evil being present and it's intimate. And these are the type of movies I like. So I did enjoy the movie. These are just a couple questions that popped as I'm watching.
And I don't even know if we have to necessarily go into spoilers. There's a few things I just wanted to run by, but I'm okay not talking about them either, and just rewatching the movie again at some point. The reality would be that everything that we've discussed here, I think the listeners would understand that it's a recommend from all three of us.
Oh,
I don't
think
there's a question there. So I did have a question when you were talking, Dave, and I forgot you were talking about the innocence of, or why didn't she pick him?
Why did she send him away? She didn't want him there. As soon as he came, she goes,
Yeah.
I thought you were getting a Schwimmer. She goes, I do. This is him.
Yeah.
She goes, he's got to go. Okay. And maybe it'll come back.
I honestly, like, for me, I would just take it as she sees she senses his pain and senses his lack of faith and feels like he's going to fall victim to what's about to happen. Because don't forget, like, she knows about the demon Mr. Litvak's coming and carrying, and she knows that it's going to, well, I won't spoil it, but you know what happens with the demon after death and how to defeat it, and maybe she doesn't think he's up to the task. And so I almost look at it like she's being kind, almost trying to spare him from this.
And I like that they didn't go, unless I misinterpreted it, they didn't go the traditional route with his arc at the end. And
right, me too.
He kind of stayed, and let's say again, and Brady, correct me, but he stayed true blue to his beliefs, I thought, when he was leaving.
But I think the reason for that is because he wanted to meet somebody else so badly. I think that trumped it. Because you know how it is. He was going through his thing. He was trying to figure out how to talk to certain people. He was Googling it on the phone, and he had this budding conversation going on with somebody else. I think ultimately he took what happened as an experience. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. And even he says earlier a line about coffee, and then he switches it up at the end when he sends that text. So I'm like, okay. So I just think that trumped it. He's like, this is right now what's more important to me at this particular moment after going through this. Here I am. I want to know what's going on with this situation over here. That's what I took it as, which is good. It's healthy.
Then why don't we go to spoilers? I don't know if there's anything else we can dance around or say, just because then I don't have to be as cryptic. I'll just ask directly. But yeah, I'd probably say on first time watch, it's a full head explosion. It just made it in full head explosion for me.
I'm right about there. I'm either a 3/4 or a full, but I'm right in that area. Yep,
same. Full head.
Awesome. It's
cool.
So we recommend it, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Check it out.
So we'll see you guys, the people that aren't hanging out. We'll see you guys next show, 137. We love you all very much. Thank you for everything. And go watch the movie and then come back for the spoilers. But it's available. It's only $6 to rent, so get on it. It's definitely worth the watch. So
love you long time. Just fuck that up. He said at the same time and it just
I stopped. I just went and then stopped.
Spoilers.
Spoil away.
Okay, no, I guess where I was going with that last question, and again, not to start at the end, I took it as he was like, are you ready to come back for your faith? And he's like, no. Nice try, but I'm not. Now, am I wrong? Did I misinterpret that? Because I will tell you this, that day yesterday that I had, no joking, I was exhausted. And I put this movie on and I was like, my eyes were getting heavy. I go, you got to be fucking kidding me. I said, I'm watching this. So I took a 20-minute nap, went back and watched the whole movie. And by the end, I'm like, I got to go to bed. And I went right to bed after the movie. So I want to make sure I interpreted the ending. Like, I thought he wasn't embracing his faith or his religion wholeheartedly again. That he was like, no, I'm not ready yet.
I sort of agree with that. I feel like
Okay.
he doesn't need the community. He doesn't need to go to morning prayers that morning. He's certainly, for me, not going back to the community, but I think his faith has been restored by facing the massacre and defeating it, and he's sort of comfortable with where he is in his life, and he let his brother go because he gets that phone call, why won't you let me die? So he sort of made peace with it. He's made peace with his faith, but he's going to continue to live the life that he's living now outside of this community.
Okay, and that's what I thought. Like, I mean, the main point was that he was able to let go of the loss and be feeling totally responsible, or at least embracing it and being able to let it go.
Yeah,
100% instead of punishing himself over and over again. Okay, that was kind of what I was going there. It's not huge, but I just thought it was not traditional, because in another movie you come into morning prayers, it's like, I got to see about something, but I'll see you there later, or something like that.
I got to go see about a girl.
A girl, yeah. Rip it right off of Good Will Hunting.
I think he felt that he did his time because he did such a good deed, religion-wise, and it was all wrapped up in in his faith. So he did his good deed. He did more than a good deed. He helped him, this other person. He helped himself, his brother, and everything else. So he's like, okay, you know what? Life is short. Let me go after this girl.
And that's such an emotional scene too, because he obviously, you see the flashback with what happened with the brother. They were, subjected to some anti-Semitism, and they cut the brother's payut, and he froze. He talks about how he froze, and he didn't do anything, and then the brother got hit by a car, and but he faces this massacre. He defeats it rather easily, which I like, because they talk about that, like, all you have to do is burn its face the first night it appears to you, or it'll never leave you. And he was strong enough at that point, at the very end, right when he's wrapping the tefillin on him and goes in with the candle and defeats it instantly. But then the scene where he goes downstairs and he's sitting with Mr. Litvak's body, and his body's still being tormented, and he's saying, like, let him go.
Oh, that part.
Oh man, that's great.
Stuff with the bones cracking.
The bones, and then the flashback to. I mean, they don't even give you
a toe on the ground. Even I know that's separate.
Yeah.
Oh, the nail. I was like, oh.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah. And the flashback, it's not really explained who he shoots, but right. I mean that was a big thing. But that's fine. That was a very big. Maybe that was. Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was just someone else, but that's something that the SS and the Nazis did. They would make Jews kill other Jews in the Holocaust. And he had to live with that. And he had to live. And you see the massacre wrap its arms and grab a hold of him because he couldn't destroy it at that point.
Is it supposed to be a manifestation of personal demons?
I think so.
Is that what we're supposed to? Yeah, that's what I got from it too, and like. From the flashback that you guys were just discussing with the shot, and of course dealing with it. You notice when they do the flashback and he's sitting in front of the car crying as he's holding his brother. Very emotional sequence. That the driver is out, but it's like a blurred kind of mess, almost as if like he's watching or she's watching, but we have no idea if it's a he or she. It's not important, but it looks monstrous almost, just like this image in the background. It's so like just. Sort of, it's not even the focal point of it, but I noticed it. I thought it was so cool that they just had it a blur, to kind of, I guess pinpoint or add another element of like that demon aura or essence that he's holding on to.
I love that everyone finds their peace in the end. I like the fact that Mrs. Litvak doesn't turn out to be some creepy old lady character. Yes, that she turns out to just be like a loving wife who just had a rough life. She loved her husband, but he was just tormented by demons his whole life, and so she drove her children away to protect them.
And that was the two scares I was talking about, where he thinks she's gone upstairs.
Oh,
and she's and she's calling out, and she's right there beside him. Or something and then there was another one, I think, as well,
where someone says turn around.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, and then the head, or then even when the demon head turns around, like. The imagery, it's scary, man. There's some great visual scares in this movie, and well lit, and the single location isolation, as Dave you were talking about. Everything was just done and elevated well above what I was expecting. When I saw it was 2019, I didn't read into this. I honestly was like, ah, shit, 2019. This must not be that great because they didn't have faith enough to release it, and it's unfortunate because this definitely deserves to be seen.
Yeah, but look at Devil's Candy, and look at The Witch, and look at lots of movies took 3 years to get picked up.
Look at Record of Sweet Murder. We loved that one, and
right.
that one was like 18 years.
Yeah,
you should see that. Definitely.
So it does take time occasionally. You know, it is the way it is. But even Black Coat's Daughter, remember, it didn't come out right away.
I mean, I don't know how this movie's gonna do. Look, listen, I hope a lot of people see it. I mean, unfortunately there's a lot of people that are anti-Semitic, so I don't know, like, hopefully not within the horror community.
No, I doubt that.
But that's probably a reason for that there's not many Jewish horror films.
I said it's so funny, but I didn't mean it.
No, I know.
It's so funny. There's all these anti-Semitic. No, it's so funny. It's just never been part of me or anything like that. And it's funny how much more you see it being in an online realm, but I definitely don't notice it so much in the horror community, unless it's jokes being thrown out knowingly that they're trying to get a rise out of somebody. But for me, I can't joke about that because I feel like there's too much pain there to make it funny. Brandon could joke about it or whatever. It wouldn't feel natural to me. It'd feel like I don't like just fake humor. I don't know. I'm not like I'm grasping at something to be controversial.
And I feel like it's like it was almost intentional. The scene where like he tries to escape and she's like, the demon will just bring you crawling back here.
That was cool.
And that was cool, but I also felt like it was sort of like a metaphor for how he froze up. Like it was tormenting him in the way because he couldn't even reach out and call for the cop that he saw. He like froze literally, like because his bones were crunching.
Damn. Yeah. I think the movies aren't as popular because they're just a tougher sell. Because Christianity is what sells in the United States. It's the number one religion. That's what it is. I don't think that people think that enough people are going to resonate with a Jewish horror movie. That's what I think. I think people see it as a gamble. I don't think it's anything about people being anti-Semites. Of course there are. But I just don't. I mean, you see everything now. If there's a big enough audience. I mean, honestly, last year, and I didn't talk about it in the year-end show, but I'm listening to a lot of them now. It seems they're coming out later this year than they usually come out. So I'm listening to them currently. And as I'm listening to people's countdowns and their numbers and their movies, I'm noticing that there were, and I didn't mention it, but there were a lot of black horror movies last year. A lot. I'm talking like 6 or 7. Like, or prior to that, you're lucky to get one a year. Obviously, that's the new trend because of Jordan Peele and what he's done. But all of a sudden, boom, that and comedy horror. Comedy horror made a huge splash in 2020. I'm listening to I heard a podcast and a guy just came in and called up his list, a listener of that podcast, and gave my top 10 horror comedies for 2020. That's how many there were. So we didn't bring that up on the show, and I know I'm sidetracking, but it just occurred to me. I think that it could happen. I don't know. Maybe you need a couple Jewish filmmakers to come out and make a big splash like Jordan Peele did, and then people will follow suit.
Well, this is this is a great start.
Yeah, indeed.
For sure. For sure. It's frustrating though because of all the movies, Brandon, that you mentioned and we know that are on Amazon Prime right now, free on their service is Prime, that Blumhouse dropped on that service. It was Blumhouse, correct? I'm not incorrect. There was
Blumhouse This one should have been
Black Box
out there. Yeah. This one should easily have been a part of it.
Exactly. That's where I'm going with it. But maybe they thought there was life into it, and they didn't just want to drop it there. They thought they'd release it VOD and for rental first, then it will make its debut. Maybe. But it just feels weird that it took 2 years. But like you said, you brought up a lot of valid points for other movies. And guys, I do apologize because I am running quickly out of time here as I'm responsible for a drive in 3 minutes and I'm running really out of time. So I don't know if there's any other points that you want to make. I'll stop talking.
I literally don't have to say anything else. I mean, I could talk about it more, but I could literally just say that it's easily my favorite movie of the year so far. And definitely recommend checking it out.
Yeah, I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
Early, as I think our review and our talk has talked about, I didn't know what to expect, and it had nothing to do with it. I hadn't heard anything about it. Like, I was looking at 2019 and knew that we were doing it. It was coming out now, and that we were going to do it for the show. That's what I knew, and that we're pairing it with The Possession because there was a Jewish themed to it, and it was amazing from a filmmaking standpoint and from an actual thematic standpoint as well. It was great.
Yeah.
It's definitely my favorite of the year so far. I could say that. And that hallway scene at the end, when we see the monster and everything with him going down the hallways, I didn't mention it. It's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such great cinematography, sound design, acting from a technical standpoint.
The score.
Score from a technical standpoint, it's a near perfect film. And from a story standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, in terms of keeping you engaged, it's probably close too. I mean, obviously, I don't give it a perfect score yet anyway, but this is certainly one I'll be adding to the collection and rewatching.
For sure. This is I've added now I've four movies that I can feel if that would encompass a top 4 right now for the year. 4 are standouts, and this is definitely a top contender. So
yeah, it's starting to build now. It was a slow start, but I'm starting to watch some in the last couple of weeks that are starting to make some headway.
It'll happen. It always does. Does. Okay, let's be out. We gotta go. Love you guys. Thank you. See you next episode. Again.